What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. It's not Noah's fault. Come talk some James Harden with us. Let's go. This ain't the fuck like before this game, he stinks.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. No.
You know what? I'm so pissed off by that. I'm doing it again.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody, to A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. This Wednesday night and every Wednesday night moving forward, we are brought to you by BetUS. And BetUS is the leading online sportsbook who has been in the market for over 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. You can use the link right in our description. It's pinned in YouTube. All right, it's over on Facebook in our description as well. Use that link, and you get a promo of 125%. That's a sign-up bonus of 125%. All right, that's a lot of walking around gambling money. So listen, go take advantage of it. BetUS, use our link right in the description, and hey, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself and win some money. Like usual, Nate Moss, Frank Vesby, Greg Milakovic, Ralph Del Vecchio, Ryan Brodo, No Eaton, even though things were blamed on him, not with us tonight. And we got a lot to talk about. We'll go over around the NBA, circle it at the end of the show. Sixers buyout options and targets for this season. Okay, I mean, that's the big conversation now, that once you land a guy like James Harden, that becomes the big conversation, right? And it becomes the conversation of, right, what are you going to put around it, because now you don't have the money. So what are you going to put around a guy like Harden, Embiid, and Tobias? So we'll do that. And listen, we'll introduce the big guy, because it's good to have him, even though I've been critical over the years. I know some other guys have as well, but we'll talk about the arrival of James Harden and what that means for this Sixers team. And our main topic at hand is going to be Sixers finals or bust, and that's brought to you by Manscaped. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Make sure you go over there, get 20% off, free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. The lawnmower, the weed whacker, the ball deodorant. What don't they have for you? They have everything over at Manscaped. Our poll question for tonight: after the arrival of James Harden, it's finals or bust for the Sixers this season. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the follow, 5-star review. Do everything you can to continue to make us the best of the best. We appreciate every one of you. And comment in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. So to the poll question, after the arrival of James Harden, it's finals or bust for the Sixers this season. Agree or disagree? I'm gonna disagree, and because one, I think they're going to go to the finals. I think they're going to be that good. But we also haven't had a chance to see them all play together, right? And that's the big elephant in the room here. So we haven't seen it, but we assume
he's a big elephant.
Big elephant. And we want to see it, and we're excited to see it, and we will after the All-Star break. but I just disagree because I think it's a maybe 4-year window. I would say maybe more 3 after this year. So you get 3 after this year, and that window opens up. And then some of the reports coming out that he didn't opt in, James Harden, to this deal was because they want to leave money out there to be able to go maybe get another star caliber player, right? So that's some of the conversations early on, and I know the league has been notified of some tampering here. So that's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully nothing comes of it. But that's some of the reports coming out. So I don't necessarily believe it's finals or bust. I still think they go. I think they're good enough to go. I think with Joel Embiid playing at the level he's played at this season, I think anybody that thinks that they can't go is sort of delusional, right? I mean, we haven't seen this type of dominance from a big man in a long time. So, I mean, you team him up with the right pieces, which I think this basketball team has. Listen, I think the sky's the limit, but I disagree because I still think they got like a 3-year window after this to try to cut the nets down. So that's where I'm going with it tonight. You really can't go any deeper than what we can go, right? Because we haven't seen it. So it's sort of unfair to say finals or bust, but on paper and what's expected, it's always finals or bust. Okay, let me make that clear too. It's always finals or bust when you're going all in. I just think the window isn't just this year. Like if you said finals or bust for this deal to pay off, absolutely. Absolutely, I'm agreeing to that poll. But just for this season, you guys know the chemistry and what's needed in the NBA at times. Now, I still think there's enough chemistry on this basketball team. I think James fits in perfect to that because he is a guy that, we look at him and he's selfish and wants to get his shots off, but he's also a really good distributor of the basketball too, and he rebounds well. So he does some things that are important from just scoring the basketball. And with him and Joe, like I told you guys before, we might be watching 5-hour games because everybody's at the line. So, but I disagree to this poll for this season being the end-all, be-all to finals or bust or the whole thing's a failure. I think that's almost unfair, but it's fair because this basketball team needs to get over the hump. They've only been to the second round of the playoffs, right? And their hump just isn't now constructed to get to an Eastern Conference final. Their hump now is to go to the NBA Finals. And if you win it, okay. But that's got to be the goal, and that's got to be everybody's thought on this show should be like, listen, we should be good enough to go, right? But it doesn't mean it's a bust if they don't. Now, if they don't get out of the second round, then I start having conversations about busts, okay? But if they at least go to an Eastern Conference final and make strides to show you they're a better basketball team, I don't think we're saying bust. I think we're saying, hey, underachieved, but not bust because I got another 3 years to try to go get this. And what can I do? What wiggle room do I have as an organization? If James takes $25 million a year for 2 years, hypothetically, what wiggle room do I have for those 2 years to now go bring in somebody else? Maybe you keep the bias, right? Maybe it's not even a move at the bias because you're just freeing up some extra money because you're not paying a max deal to him. You understand what I'm saying, guys? So you're not owing him Ben Simmons type money. So you're left with meat on the bone, right? You're left with $15 million, $18 million in that ballpark to go dabble with for 2 years, to go get yourself a guy who, hey, just wants to win. Like, an all-star caliber player just wants to go to an environment that he believes he can win in. Sky's the limit. Critical of Daryl Morey before.
Does he?
What?
Is that all he wants to win? I mean, he was up 3-1, 3-0 in Houston and couldn't close out the Warriors.
Who? Like a decade ago.
Who? We're talking about Harden? I'm talking about another player that wants to come here and just win.
Okay, all right. I'll give you that.
See how quickly he pounced?
See how quickly
he pounced on
well,
that?
I mean, let's but let's not make out James Harden to be the greatest teammate of all time.
Okay, but we're also talking about when you want to talk about that 3-1 series. Let's talk about again who got hurt in that series up 3-1.
I hear you.
Okay, I mean, just to be fair, I
understand. But if he's this great scorer, he should be able to win one game.
Okay, against the greatest team of all time.
You were up 3-0, 3-1.
I understand that, but you lost your general. You lost your whole general. What are you doing? Listen, I agree with you. He's underachieved at times. Okay, I get you. But he's also never played with a guy like this. Through all his career, he's never played with a talent like this because nobody has. Nobody has. In the history of the NBA, nobody has played with a guy of this caliber, like at the big man position, that can do every fucking thing on the court, Greg. Nobody has. Nobody. This is why we were just begging for something back to team up with him, and we get a star. We get a star, and because we've been critical of him in the past, we got to continue on the critical side and say, you know what? You know what? He said he's always wanted to come here. This is where he wants to be. Listen, maybe he's the perfect citizen here. Maybe he's the perfect citizen, or maybe he's not. But I got to believe if Daryl is all in on him, he knows more about him than we do. And we got to hope that he's making that right decision. But this isn't the time to throw a pity party. This isn't the time, Mr. Milwakovic, to start being negative Nancy. No, it's not.
I've always been negative Nancy.
But this isn't the time. It's the time for you to let your hair down a little bit.
Nah.
All right, whatever. I disagree with the poll. So go ahead, guys.
I'll go real quick because I know kind of what we just saw. I know what's coming, so I'll go real quick and I'll get the hell out of the way because I know what's going to happen in a couple minutes. I disagree as well. I fully expect them to be in the finals conversation. And I hate going into a season, or in this case, the final 24 games of a season, and have like limited expectations, especially when you see, hey, James Harden's in Philadelphia now. But Tom, you and I have talked about this before on shows off air. Like, can we get to an Eastern Conference Finals first? Because it's like everyone talks about it, and I hear it because the last couple of years it's felt like we've been on the cusp of, finals or winning a championship. And it's like, hey, at the end of the day, it feels like we've been close, but really we've been 2 rounds away from the friggin' thing. So as much as it is about this year and Daryl's comments and James and Doc and Elton and ownership, they were talking about, hey, it's about a championship this season. And I completely agree with that. And I would expect them to be in that conversation. It's not like Harden and Embiid and these guys, these parts of this core, they're all retiring after this year. It's about for the next handful of years. It's about putting this team in a window to match along with Embiid's window of how long is he going to be elite in this league. I see a lot of people around, and listen, everybody's expectations can be different. I get it. So I'm not even going to fault people for going there, saying, oh, if you don't get to the finals, this season's a failure. I disagree, but it's all about context. Like if you get swept in the Eastern Conference Finals, okay, we're obviously going to be pissed. But I just need to get over that hump that is the second round, because correct me if I'm wrong, you haven't done that since 2001. And I'm not trying to say that the 2001 team has anything to do with this. Absolutely not. But we've had so many really good teams, whether it was with Butler or last year with the number 1 seed, or you can go, leaps and bounds to the bully ball teams. And each year you've either gotten bounced in the first round or the second round. So I fully expect them to be in that conversation, but also given everything that we started this season with, and I don't think it's a cop-out. If somebody thinks it is, that's fine. It seemed like our main goal for this year was to get rid of the idiot. Well, we got rid of him, and we got somebody, as much as some people don't think it's an upgrade, it's a big-time upgrade.
Yeah,
it's
but it was more than that. It was more than that. It wasn't just get rid of it was like our expectations weren't just get rid of the idiot. Our expectations were we're watching our best player play at the highest level he's played at, and we need to get something back so we can get over our hump. I think that's been our expectations from day one. True. Even though even though that's the only part I don't agree with you on, because it has been. We've sat on these airways and talked about like, hey, we got to get somebody. If it's fucking Halliburton, we weren't even we were selling low.
I don't
just to try to get over our hump.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but it was basically like, Jesus, when you put everything into, because I agree with you, Tom, it wasn't get rid of the idiot and get like 3 just guys. No, so I agree with you in that sense. But it's that, hey, you got rid of him. You got somebody that we have been talking about. Daryl's obviously been talking about for years to pair along with Embiid. And if it gets you over the hump of just the second round and it gets you in a really good spot, and if you lose a close series, all right, whatever. Just get me closer to that end goal, because the last 3-4 years, I don't want to say we've been in purgatory, but we've been stuck. We made all these leaps and bounds in the regular season. Embiid's gotten better. Pretty much everybody's gotten better except for one guy, and it's ended pretty much the same way. So get over that hump and then build forward. But at the end of the day, if you end up in the finals this year, I won't complain either.
Are we okay? Huh? What? That's what Tom would say. That's what Tom would say, right? Are we okay? Are we okay? We didn't get James Harden to just get past the second round. We got him to go the whole way. Not first base, not second base, to hit the home fucking run. Right? Of course I agree to this poll. We didn't bring him here just to get past a second round team. We got him to take us the whole way. And it is nobody. I'm looking at the Eastern Conference Finals right now. Eastern Conference right now. There is nobody on this from 1 to 8 that I'm really scared of. Milwaukee would be a series, right? Because Milwaukee's still good. But I'm really not worried about Miami that much. Not Chicago, not Cleveland, not Boston, even though we got blown out by like 70. Not the Raptors, not Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like, is this really Milwaukee? Of course I agree to this motherfucking poll.
Milwaukee and Brooklyn. I mean,
I'm
a little worried about Miami.
Tigers don't lose their stripes, right? So I'm not really like, is Ben going to really just miraculously change in the playoffs? I mean, he could get motivated looking at the the Sixers over there, but
wow.
I'm not too, especially if like we see the mask mandates and all this stuff starting to come off. Is New York going to make the change and let Kyrie play? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
But if they don't have Kyrie by the time the playoffs come, I don't think they have enough to beat us.
No, Kyrie. They're obviously in trouble. The only thing I'll say to like the bus this year is because we've had all these other teams in the past, like we touched on a little while ago, and the problem is they weren't ever able to get chemistry together because it got blown up after either a year or 3 months. When you talk about Jimmy being here, there's nobody's been here for like a minute, like over a minute. And I think the most important thing is to play for a minute. And I know with Harden's age being 32, we're like, oh my God, it's now or never. It's also he has an old man game anyway. So that old man games translate as you get older. Like it's not gonna go away. Like his scoring ability won't just go away because he has such good handles. So he's gonna be a scorer for the next 3 to 4 years. Like you can just write that down somewhere. Like he's gonna score.
Yeah, the jump shots is the last thing to go. This is the jump shot.
And then Tyrese, right? And you look at Tyrese growth and you look at other things. Like if you allow this the play out for 3-4 years, I think we're gonna get to what we want to get to. That's the only reason me speaking for it is why I don't think it's a total bust. Like it's like I said, it's maybe a failure to a point because of your roster and what you went out and got. I get that, but not like everybody wants to win championships. So it's always championship or bust, especially when you're considered a top 3 team, right? In a conference, it's always top 3 team. If you don't get there, right, it's usually a bust, right? So that's just common. That's like makes sense. And when you go out and do this move, the majority of the public is going to say bust year 1. But it's the people that have watched teams do this at the trade deadline, and you don't always get over that hump right then, right? You get a whole all season together, you get a whole 82 the next year, and then you get over your hump.
No, I know what you're saying, but I still think it's a bust.
Yeah, listen, I told you people are going to say it because it's not.
And it could be chalky, it could be public view, but
no, I shook my head with you because I agree with what you're saying. It's not like it's not one of these polls where it's like you're fucking so up. It's not one of these polls because of the move made. The only person I'm going to attack is Greg on this tonight. That's it. Everybody else is scot free on their opinions. Mr. Moakovic, do you want?
I mean, it's a gold jacket. You traded for a gold jacket.
Yeah, he traded for a top 75 player of all time by his peers. So.
Yeah, and you're pairing him with the best player in the league right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk. You said it before. Big man with a guard. This equals championships.
It does. It just does.
So I want the other end of the equation.
It's and the equation's right there.
I'm not looking over the Miami Heat. I'm not saying the Miami Heat aren't good. Yeah. But am I like scared of the Miami Heat? I'm not really scared of Miami.
Yeah, not with the addition we got. Like I'm not scared.
I'm not like oh is that it'll be a tough series, but I mean, would you be surprised if they beat Miami? I mean, that's why I'm not scared of them. Brooklyn is trouble. I mean, not Brooklyn. Milwaukee's tough.
Yeah, it's over the Nets if everybody's playing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Greg, so you can get bullied.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get bullied because it is what it is. But
he's just gonna
it is what it is. That's what Ben Simmons said. Like,
seven disagree with what I just said, Greg.
No, I agree to the poll. I mean, Daryl put this guy on his pedestal and he went all in to get it. right? He included much more in the trade than what needed to happen, what needed to be given.
Well, what needed to be? Hold on. What needed to be given?
You could have gone Ben 2 picks. Yeah, I don't think we need.
You're assuming. Hold on.
Well, when he's yelling at Marks to keep him on the phone because he won't deal because his deal isn't good enough, and now he's got Daryl by the balls.
You just answered the question. You answered your question. You answered your own question.
So then hang up the phone and go to the next deal. You didn't have to put it up. So I agree with Paul because Daryl went all in on this. Right? And he might know more than we do, and that's fine. Right? Daryl went all in.
Is it all in when you got rid of a guy who's never going to play here for a guy like you got more value than you thought you were getting? Can we all sit here and be honest with each other tonight?
Did we?
Are you kidding? Are you fucking kidding me tonight? Like you cannot.
If he goes and extends this deal, we're losers in this deal at 38 years old. When he's walking up,
you win 2 titles.
38 fucking years old.
He hasn't won yet, so yes, I'm gonna worry about every year of this deal until we win.
You gotta worry about now. The window isn't 10 years. The window
as soon as he signs this extension, this deal is terrible. So yes, right now, this is what you went. This is what you went for. You went for this year. You went all in for this year because it's finals or bust. Because as soon as he opts in and as soon as he re-signs a deal and you make him a max player at 33, 34 years old, we are absolutely losers in that deal.
How?
Because we have so much money tied up to a very aging, depreciating value.
You're assuming is going to fall off that much?
It already is.
Why are you worried about something that's 5 years away?
How has he already?
Because I don't think it's going to happen right now, right? That's
how has he? How has he, Greg?
His scoring has dropped.
Look who he's playing with.
Yeah, look who he's going to be teamed up with.
He's not teamed up with those two types of guys.
He's teamed up with a big man that needs the ball now.
Okay, it's way different to be teamed up with a guard who needs the ball and a small forward who needs the ball. Your numbers are going to naturally drop over that. Come on, can we be fair? Your numbers aren't going to be 30 a game. I'm not telling you that he's the same guy he was when he's 28. No. But I think it's almost disrespectful to assume the cliff's coming when it hasn't happened yet. The cliff hasn't happened yet.
He hasn't. It's not like he's a model health either, though. He's always banged up.
I watch back and watch every highlight one night of James Harden from 20.
Greg, I'm with you, but he dropped 22, 33, 13, 37, 18, 22, 27, 20. Did he really fall off because he's not dropping 40 every night?
Well, I don't want him to drop 40.
But I'm just saying.
But everyone's saying that we're getting this all-time player and this scoring guard like we're getting the guy at 28 years old. We're not. We're getting the 33-year-old version, which might work. Which Daryl might be the right guy, and that's what I'm saying. I agree to the poll. We're all in for this year.
He's a walking bucket, bro. He's a walking.
Yeah,
walking bucket.
I just love the assumptions. There was an assumption that the cliff's coming and he's going to fall off. Maybe he does, Greg, and maybe you're 100% right, okay? But I look at an old man game. I told you before, it's an old man's game to begin with. His game's always been an old man's game. Nothing's ever been flashy. He beats you by getting to his spots, okay? He knows how to create space and get to his spops. That's the key.
That's what he's creating for basically himself, right?
That's a lie.
He hasn't put. No. I'm saying he's had assists and stuff like that. But when he's been that guy, he's been essentially creating for himself, and the guys around him are cutting off of the basketball that he's creating, right? He's now has a dominant big man that needs the basketball as much as him. He's never had a fully back to the basket dominant big man. And Joel's not even that guy either. The big man that he's always been teamed up with have always been lob guys, have always been pick and roll guys. Joel's more of a pick and pop guy. It's going to be an adjustment. And I'm just saying, there might not be, I'm sure they're going to work it out because as much as I hate the guy, he is pretty good. I'm not going to watch a single game, but he is pretty good. So they're probably going to work it out, but it's a different guy than he's ever played with. He's never played with a guy like Joel.
Okay, exactly.
And that's a different adjustment.
Every guard that's going and teamed up with a true, come on, guys, we watched enough NBA in our lives. We watched enough NBA in our lifetimes. When this happens, great things come about. This is how it's always worked. And now we're going to, because, no, we got the cloud out of here. And you and John Coyle, your true fucking 25 colors are coming out tonight. You and John's true 25 colors are coming out. No, it's a disgrace. It's absolutely to do with it because you all sat here and you never wanted to get rid of him. Oh, we could work it out maybe. You even didn't want to get rid of him at the deadline and thought maybe there's a chance he would come back and play here. That's how much you still want him to be here. And I get it. I understand it. We were sold.
I know what he's going to do in Brooklyn.
We were sold expectations that never came about. Okay, that's what we were sold here as a fan base. And it's sad it never came about, okay? The LeBron, the Magics, all right? I said the only thing, maybe he gets HIV and that's the closest he'll ever touch the Magic, okay? But besides that, you can't smell Magic's jockstrap, okay? Can't hold it, can't smell it, whatever he wants to do for his mental health. But at the end of the day, you got rid of the dark cloud and you went out and got a bona fide star in this league, which is hard to do. You got a top 10 player in this league, right? That is very hard to do. When we were talking about top 30 back, top 30, and it's a guard that can score and create on his own as well. If you don't think that's a perfect marriage, I don't understand. We could talk about how James Harden's the worst guy in America. When did James Harden, because we watch his game from afar, that all of a sudden, because we don't like he gets all the calls, so we get a hate hat on, rightfully so. But we got a guy playing with us too at the big man position that gets every call as well. All right. And rightfully so, too, because he gets to his spots. He beats you, right, when he gives you no options. So when you team this up in the history of the league, Mr. Milakovic, and anybody out there listening, John Coyle, okay, championship banners are hung. And if you don't believe that, then I can't help anybody. And if you believe it has to happen in 1 year, and if it doesn't happen in 1 year, it's never going to happen, then you aren't paying attention to what I started the show with. You're not paying attention to Zach Lowe's article or podcast or whatever it was. Okay, I think I got his name right. I don't even care because I'm fired up. If you didn't, no, it wasn't Stein. Fuck Stein. Okay, but at the end of the day, they're talking about signing a less money deal to bring more in. So everybody, calm down. It's got to be 1 year or it's never going to work. Well, if we go cut it down the next two, who's to say? We've got a lot of what ifs going on. A lot of what ifs.
Yeah, we do have a lot of what ifs. Like, we think this guy's Kobe.
No.
This guy's not Kobe.
Are you kidding me? You can make the argument.
He's not the playoff killer that we think he is. He's not the playoff killer that he portrays to be in the regular season, and that's proven.
First off, you're comparing him to Kobe. That's fine if you want to go that route. And I'll compare him to Kobe.
That's the last big man and two-guard tandem you want to talk about.
And I'll compare him to Kobe then. I'll compare his game to Kobe Bryant real quick for you. They can score at will. Okay? I just compared it. I just absolutely compared it. And if you don't think Kobe...
He's not the playoff killer that Kobe was.
But Kobe didn't need shots, Greg? Because that's what you're telling me. You're telling me because he needs shots, he's a ball hog, etc. That's what you're telling me. So Kobe didn't need shots?
I'm not saying Kobe needed shots. Kobe absolutely needed shots.
When guys put away their personal baggage, okay, and they're in for a certain situation, which I know the leader of my team's in for, I don't believe this move is made, and I'm going to stand by this, that this move was made by everybody in this organization that would literally give James Harden hand jobs, okay, for free, that they don't believe that this guy is a model citizen and a good teammate. There's no way. There's no way that a guy that was under him in Houston would do this if he didn't believe he was a good teammate. Because if that's the case, then he should be fired immediately. And so should Michael Rubin and anybody and Joshua Harris to sell the fucking team.
I don't understand why people are overthinking the room here. They're going to get more double teams, which is going to open it up for the other guy. It's going to open up for the teammates. They're going to get to the line more. And when you don't need him to fill it up, per se, and go and get a bucket because Embiid's on, you're getting a top facilitator in the league. So everyone talks about his scoring. He's a better facilitator than the guy you just got rid of, who, by the way, to Tom's point, was never playing for us again. So you're getting a better facilitator to help Embiid, but to then take pressure off of him, you're getting a way better scorer. So, I don't know what people wanted. If they didn't want one guy, if we could rip this apart. Well, I know you hate him, and I don't think you've ever seen him play because of how you describe him, but that's fine.
Yeah,
you hate
never
him.
watched him
This
play.
is
Yeah.
great.
But at the end of the day, you look at it, I don't know what people wanted. He's going to make them better. Embiid's going to make him better. Tobias, for the first time in his Sixers career, is going to be asked to be what he truly is, which is a third, maybe fourth guy on a championship contending team. He's never gotten that opportunity before. Tyrese Maxey can focus on one thing. Hey, just score. Just score. And you have enough perimeter defenders, while I think you're going to add another in a center, that can fill in the pieces. Like, I don't know why we're dissecting it of like, oh, here's 7 reasons why it can go wrong. No, here's 30 reasons why it can go right. And it's everything that a basketball fan should look at. I'm not saying this.
Can it go wrong? Sure.
Yes. Oh, we can blow up in our faces. But guess what? Any big splashing move comes with those risks. But I can go to bed at night knowing that one of those big risks, you got rid of a guy who was never touching the floor again. So I'm cool. I got a really good role player in Seth Curry that everyone's panicking. Oh my God, you wouldn't have gotten blown out by the Celtics last night if you had Seth Curry. I don't even know how that makes sense unless Seth Curry's put up 100. Nobody's stopping last night. Drummond, he's an ultimate rebounder. I'm going to miss him, but guess what? They're 2 guys that you got rid of in addition to a guy who's never playing again for somebody who perfectly matches what you're trying to do. A guard who can score any night and facilitate any night.
Listen, to be able to win, everybody egos need to be checked at the door. That's all around sports. Okay, that's just the facts of the matter, right? And anybody who's played a sport understands that. Like, if you have the ultimate, if you want the ultimate prize, you put egos aside. Okay, and that goes for a whole roster. And listen, so none of that's ever guaranteed. But I got to believe a guy that has done all the scoring he can do in this league, has proven what kind of player he is in this league. Like Nate said, gold jacket. Okay, when you're talking about those accolades, right? What's the final finishing touch, Greg? Right, and everybody out there, the final finishing touch you would assume is a guy wants a ring. Okay, a guy wants to know what that feels like. Okay, you can like I said, you can dislike Harden and Frank, Ralphie go. You can dislike James, and I understand that side of it. Okay, but nobody out there can't say this isn't a huge home run of a deal for the Philadelphia 76ers. This doesn't give them an opportunity to win championships over the next 3 or 4 years. I think it's just using their agenda for James and they're using it to be the end all be all. And I just think we got to be fair with it, because what we're teaming up when that team's up in the NBA, I don't know what else to say about it. Fun things happen. Always.
We hope.
Okay. I mean, I'll give you Parker, Manu, and Timmy. I mean, they had a good time together.
Great run.
Good times together. I mean, just look around it. Look around it. We got rid of the biggest cloud over this organization. And when Ryan was talking about earlier, was like, that's all we wanted to do, because we watched games with a cloud and we didn't know what was going to be back. And if you told me 2 months ago that this is what I was getting back for him, listen, my criticisms and what my eyes tell me at times and all that goes out the window, because I know what he's teaming up with. He's not teaming up with another wing player. Oh, jerk me off. Everybody trying to be the Warriors. No. We're saying we don't want to be the Warriors. We're going to go old school, and we're going to dominate you, Greg. I can't wait, because you're welcome on Broad. I'm not going to cut you off. I'm not going to tell you you're not welcome.
I've sat through the process. I'm coming to Broad regardless whether I watch another game or not.
I mean, I'll get you arrested somehow. You know, I'll make a call so you can't get there. But
I'm
allowing you.
I was arrested at the Phillies one too, so we're good.
I'm letting you come, even though your agenda here. I'm welcoming you in with open arms. But don't act like this is only this year and the cliff's coming and now he's a grandpa and he can't move and he's averaging 15 a night. Like I don't think that's going to happen for 5 years. I really don't think this guy averages under 20 a night for the next 5 years. He's just an old man game who can score.
You're leading the league in assists with Brooklyn.
No, don't tell Greg.
Oh, a lot of scores over there, huh, Ralphie?
I love that somebody went this way though, because it makes it more fun and typical you. You would. It would be you or Wilson. Wilson was all in, and now all his freaking audios, Ralphie, right? All his audios are negativity. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I was all in, and now he's like, I don't know. Woe is me. Grow up, Peter Pans. We got a championship roster now. and we're way better than we were even if Ben Simmons was on this team.
We did lose depth though, and we were already lacking depth.
Now he's back.
We did lose depth. We were already lacking it, right?
Greg, let me ask you something.
Regardless of my thoughts on the trade, right? And real quick, Nate, we were already lacking stuff off the bench. And when you add James, naturally a guy like, and I'm just gonna bring him up because he was traded, a guy like Seth or Danny then goes to the bench that strengthens your bench. And I know you got the buyouts, but you had guys that were already here. So we did lose some depth. And Andre and Seth, regardless of how good or bad they are, were key pieces in this rotation that allowed, Andre especially allowed Joel to be dominant because he didn't have to log as many minutes going forward. And then we talked about Seth last year in the playoffs. He was arguably our best player. Now, again, you add James, and that takes over to the Seth, but that also takes away some of our depth as well.
No, of course, but would you rather trade Seth Curry or Tyrese Maxey? You know what I mean? So, I mean,
no, I get why that happens.
That's exactly what I was going to say because
I would rather kept Seth straight to Matisse. Goodbye.
Because
I agree there.
I think Tommy was saying this before. Simmons wasn't playing.
I get it.
So, you know what I mean? He was. It was almost he was the add-in piece.
He was
the
never
deal was around
ever
Curry
again.
Drummond.
He was
He was never going to touch the floor again.
He went on to the
never going to touch the court. He was never going to touch the court.
He was never going to come back.
Thanks,
He
Dave.
was never going to come back.
No.
So if you look at it, if you look at the trade, even though we know what we gave up, it's tough to say that it was. He hit it out the park. It was a great deal.
Yep.
Nate, to your
Nolan
point,
Patrick out with a head injury. Shocker.
Nate, to your
Riddle
point,
being surprised.
it was Curry, Drummond, and 2 picks.
Yeah.
Based off of what we lost, right? Like, I know we lost $35 million with the other guy, but at least this season or ever again, he's never touching the floor. So you're not losing that in the basketball sense. All you're losing that is future projection sense or, how much does he help another team? And I get it. Listen, Brooklyn, they look obviously tonight and the other night, but just looking forward, they're still going to be in the mix. I 100% believe that. But we've talked about it so many times. I can't worry about that if I'm Daryl Morey. I got to worry about what I can control.
Yeah. Listen, basketball gods are fun too. Okay. And there's no way in hell that the basketball gods are allowing this guy to pull this move and go there and beat us in the postseason. You guys understand that? The basketball gods, and listen, we're cursing Philly sports, but the basketball gods will not allow this to happen. All right.
I don't know.
We beat him before. You know Harden's numbers against Ben? You want to know Harden's numbers against Ben? Mr. All Defense. He's averaging over 30 a game, okay? Averaging over 8 assists, I believe, and like 8 boards. So everybody can miss me with Mr. Lock and Keys. Lock them away.
36, 8, and 7, I believe, Tom.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So night-night, Ben. Night-night. Listen, go ahead, you two. So because I got to get
Frank,
to
you can go. Frank, you go.
All right, so I am going to disagree to the poll.
Smart move, Frank.
I'm just saying. I like where we're going with this team. You have 2 of the best players in the NBA right now, and, it's setting you up for something great. Yes, we don't have a lot of depth on our bench right now. Yes, I know my son, Charles Bassey, he's still got some developing to do. And, we can't rely too much on our bench with George Niang and Isaiah Joe, B-Ball Paul Millsap. But, having that core of Embiid and Harden definitely sets you up for a lot better things in the coming years, while Joel Embiid is still in his prime. So I like the setup where it's going. Is this team a finals team? Not right now, but maybe next season and the season after that, maybe we can see some appearances in the NBA Finals. So I disagree. I like the setup right now. I think we can try to get over that hump in the second round. Let's get over that first hump first. Then we can worry about the NBA Finals.
Your lovely lady lumps.
Oh, my God.
So
check it out.
I'm agree to this poll as well. For some reason, when Ryan sent the poll question over today for us to, review.
Oh, you got a poll question?
Yeah, yeah. I get to dissect it a little bit, you know what I mean, before I make up my mind.
Well, that's going to change next week.
Yeah, right. For some reason, this just feels like I'm going to compare this to what the Milwaukee Bucks did last year, right? And you can compare it into the way of, okay, 2018 for Milwaukee, they get to the I think it was the first round, they get bounced. 2019, they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, they get bounced. And then 2020, they get bounced in the second round again, if I'm not mistaken. And then what do they do in that offseason? They say, all right, we need a guard that can help out Giannis, because at that time, I think they had Eric Bledsoe, who wasn't even that great at that time with Giannis, and I think it was George Hill as well. And that offseason, they said, all right, we're going to go get an all-star, a fringe all-star, but whoever you want, and Drew Holiday, however you want to put it, he's an all-star or fringe all-star. And they went out and got him. They gave up, I think it was like George Hill, Eric Bledsoe, 3 first-rounders, and like 2 pick swaps. Okay, they went all in for this guy. And what happened last year, right? They took the next step. They gave a guard to Giannis. The pick and roll with both of them was nasty. Nobody could stop it in the league, obviously. They went to the finals and won it. I'm going to compare it to this because of the fact that finally I think Joel has a guy in Harden that can play to his potential now, right? A guy that can at least spread the floor a little bit. And I think the move that they made this year is finals or bust. And I totally agree with you, Nate, in the sense of not many teams in the East really scare you if you're the Sixers, right? I mean, Chicago's playing well, but they're banged up a little bit. I think they're still going to be missing Lonzo and Caruso come playoff time. So it all depends on what happens with them. I mean, the Celtics are a shamble, however you want to put it. I think the Cavs are okay, but I think they're too young to make any noise in the playoffs. And I mean, and obviously, I think the 2 teams that really, or at least one team that really, you know, I don't want to see them quite yet in the first or second round is probably Milwaukee. But obviously, I think if you want to beat the best, you know, you got to play. If you want to, whatever the fucking saying is, you know what I mean?
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Yeah. So I just think in all, the trade that Milwaukee did last year to go all in and get to the finals and they won it I'm going to compare it just like how I did with the Sixers this year. You made this trade this year to go all in and win the NBA finals and finally and get a parade on Broad Street.
Absolutely. And I think I think
You're
that
good.
the big thing is what people are saying. You don't know what next year is going to be. And I actually agree.
Correct.
You just don't know about people. People get hurt, things happen, right? So you always want to capitalize in the moment, right? I just think it's fair to give guys some time to play and not just like expect dominance right away. But I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of ways to look at that. There definitely is.
I just want to touch on, because Jesse put this up in the comments a couple of times, so I just want to touch on this. He says, if we're on a multiple year run and not finals or bust, why make the trade? Harden was coming here in the summer. We could have sent Ben and core pieces and a bench. I just want to say this, Jesse, and listen, I'm not speaking for everybody, but to me, doing this move tells me one of 2 things, or it gives me one of 2 things as a Sixers fan or as a player. You're getting Embiid help now, where you know for a fact, hey, this guy is this good right now, to Tom's point and Ralphie's point. We think this is going to be Embiid for the next handful of years, but you never know. You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone, you know, next year. And 2, as much as Doc and the people that play for this team wanted to say it wasn't a distraction with that guy, it was. Sure. And for the fans, it was a cloud. So Embiid said it himself in the press conference. He was getting sick and tired of being asked about it. Tobias Harris, same thing. Tyrese Maxey. Doc Rivers, the same thing. So it was about getting rid of one problem. And I don't want to say speeding up the process because I feel like I'm Sam Hinkie. By the way, he died for our sins. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate using the word process, but it speeds up the progression of getting closer to a championship. And it's like, okay, Daryl's probably thinking in that office, all right, yeah, we could have just sat back, and me with all the collusion that I've definitely been going through with James Harden since I've left Houston. Definitely that's going to be an investigation. Definitely that's happening. I could wait until the summer because I don't have to give up any pieces and he'll just leave.
Yeah, but real quick to that though,
yeah.
We didn't have the money to sign him. We would have had to do a sign and trade.
Yeah.
So
you still had to give up those pieces, yeah.
To your point, though, right? If you trade Ben for, a buffet, right, as Jesse's kind of alluding to, right, a bunch of core bench pieces, you would have then had to trade Tobias for James. So you wouldn't have had this team if this is the team that you were looking to put together. If Daryl's looking to add James to this team, you had to make the deal now because while you could have gotten him in the offseason, it would have either have been for Ben or for Tobias, so you wouldn't have had this exact team together.
It would have been for Ben, and then it would have been, Matisse going because Drummond's not under contract. Right. So then you're going to be putting core young pieces in that you don't want to put into this deal. So listen, it makes sense now. Ryan alluded to it. I've alluded to it. You had to get the cloud out of town, and they did. And I think, I've been critical of Daryl a little bit through this process, and rightfully so. He should be critical because you got a guy sitting out, right? That this doesn't happen. So you're going to be critical of everybody involved. But I think this is a home run deal. And I think there's people in the chat that actually believe this isn't a home run deal. And I think you should just stop watching basketball. Like, I honestly believe that. Like, Eric's talking about last night's Boston game. Is this real life? Like, are we talking about?
It's so funny
about a regular season when the trade goes down and he's ringing the bell and stuff like that. Like, you're telling me that game matters? That game tells you what you need to know because guys had an off night in the NBA? I mean, listen, stop it. Just stop it right now because that's not the team. Like, you can't just say, oh, well, all you're doing is adding Harden to that and you're telling me you're better than the Celtics? Yes, you're not just adding a guy. I'm not just adding Tyrese Halliburton. I'm adding a bona fide star in this league that comes with attention. All right, people watch tape. People watch things. They understand it. That guy draws attention to him. And when you get a guy who draws attention to you like him and Joel, what does that create? That creates open looks. That creates an easier process for a kid like Maxey, for Tobias, for Danny from a corner three. It opens up things. That's just common sense basketball. I can't believe there's people out on this deal. I really cannot believe that people sit at home and they think that we got fleeced. Are you guys kidding me? Andre Drummond wasn't going to be here after this year. Seth Curry is a good basketball player. We all know this, okay? But you have to – this is the price of negotiation. This is the price you have to pay to get what you want. You didn't make a trade just for a guy. God damn it. You traded for a star. Are we fucking okay? We had enough guys run through this town through these years. How many guys have came in that are just guys? Just guys. You're not going to win a championship with just guys. You either need two guys like you have in Milwaukee that are damn good basketball players to go with your star, okay? Or you need stars.
Tom, I think people were acting like the trade it had nothing to do with Harden, it had nothing to do with Simmons. The trade was literally Seth Curry, Drummond, and 2 picks for Paul Millsap. Like, that's the way people were talking. Like, oh, yeah, Paul Millsap? Like, people were talking about it last night. And, like, everyone, and I'm not talking about Philly sports passion. Like, I'm not signaling him out because I saw it a million times last night. The people that are, and it's mostly national people, which I think is flat out lazy, that are going and piling on the Sixers for getting blown out last night. Like, I'm not saying this because I want to just erase the memory of that game because of how bad it was. Like, yeah, it sucked. But it literally means 0.0 percent to me. Like, it means nothing to me because if you don't think as soon as the announcement, they agreed that, okay, things are going to get serious after the All-Star break. We're going to find out what this team really is because, James Harden's going to be here. If you don't think that a lot of these guys, and I'm not saying it's right, by the way, went on coast mode, and I'm just telling you, and I'm not saying it's right. Don't be shocked by it. Don't be surprised if they get blown out tomorrow night. It's the game. It's a couple games before the All-Star break. Then you're going to be gone until Friday. People have checked out. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what it is.
Yeah, I would like to see a response tomorrow night, though.
Me too. I'm not rooting for a loss.
I don't want check-out city either. Like, you're allowed one. You better come back with your best effort after getting your doors blown off because that's embarrassing. No matter what the stakes are, regular season or not, it's embarrassing. So I understand it. I chalk it up as the one, Rye. But tomorrow night you better come out guns blazing. Like,
I mean, if you get blown up by 48, if you get blown up by 48 tomorrow, then like I said, if you lose tomorrow, I'm not going to be happy. Maybe it's a flaw of mine. I just know, I don't know because I'm not one of them. I just think that they look at it like, oh, okay, we're going to get serious after the All-Star break. Let's just coast and make sure nobody's getting hurt. You know what I mean?
I mean, they might get blown the fuck out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, it's Milwaukee. In Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'll take my chances when I got the best player on the court. And no, that's no disrespect to Giannis. No disrespect. Like I'll take my chances that we have a response game. I want to hope it, but like I said it before, and I know Kendrick said it. Kendrick Perkins, he got a lot of heat for this, but when he compared it to the Kobe and Shaq, I don't think he's crazy. I really don't. Like I that's the first thing I thought of. Like when this deal went down, the first thing that hit my head, and me and Ryan talked about this summer when I was talking about Dame, right? Mm-hmm. And I was saying, dude, if you team Dame up with him, enjoy Broad Street, peeps, because you're gonna be there a lot. It's the same deal. It literally is the same deal. I don't care what anybody's got to say. Because Dame, you think Dame don't need the ball in his hands? You think Dame ain't taking a bunch of unnecessary shots? Of course he is. At least James's shots are more, to me, are even better than Dame's. Like analytical wise, common sense wise, right? Like we're not jacking logos. Like Dame will just come pull it from a logo for no reason. Like, okay, and he'll make some of them sometimes. That's not disrespecting Dame. Dame's a hell of a player. But these guys are similar, like I don't want to say skill sets, but what they do on a basketball court. They're similar. You just went and got the 1A, 1B. It's the same thing. You just went and got it. So if I'm talking about summertime that Dame put you on Broad Street, then I got to talk about the same thing when you're talking about James Harden. And people are laughing about it. And you can say Kobe and Shaq. I'm not saying they're Kobe and Shaq. I'm talking about when big men and guards sign up together, what they're able to accomplish, right? What they're able to accomplish. And you can compare these two to a Kobe and Shaq in a way. We're not disrespecting Kobe and Shaq to compare a top 75 player, all right, voted by his goddamn peers with a gold jacket, and the best player in the league. You're not over. This isn't the Philly fans drinking the Kool-Aid. This is common sense, people. This is right in front of our faces. This is right here. Hello, McFly. You there? Wake up, people. This doesn't happen.
Tom, I don't know. I don't think Sixers fans are going to know what to do with their hands when they realize, wait, we actually have a real point guard. And that's no disrespect to Tyrese Maxey, who's done a hell of a job just being thrown into it. But when's the last time we had a true elite real point guard? And if anyone says 25, I'm going to stop you. Because he wasn't. He was very good at certain things, but he wasn't. He did one major thing that every elite point guard ever doesn't do. And I'm not going to name it because we all know what it is. So,
KC's wrong because, I don't know where I've been hyping Simmons for 4 years. I've been very critical of him. I've praised him. Right, guys? I think I've been very fair and in the middle when it comes to Ben Simmons throughout his career here. On the things he needs to do, on critical games of his, on positive games of his, of hope, right? So Ben Simmons was hope, people, okay? It was hoping she's going to go down your pants, and she never does. That's what it was. We sat here and said, one day she'll jerk me off. One day it's coming. I want this clip too, by the way. One day she's coming, and she's going to give me a rub down because I deserve it. We've been together for 4 years. At some point, I'm going to get over the mountain, right? Never happened.
Frank propped up.
Never happened. So the hands down the pants never took place with Ben Simmons. Let me tell you something. James showed up here, strip club or not, and hands went down pants. Hands are down pants, baby. And if you don't realize that, I'll say it again with all due respect. Stop watching a game of basketball. Damn it. I can't believe this is a real thing. I can't believe that we got rid of this guy finally, and we got critiquers out there. We got the national. And another thing, and then we're going to get into our question time, okay? The other thing, ESPN and every person that wants to tweet out that it's our fault. It's our fault. Are you kidding me? And now you're all Mr. Uncle and Mrs. Mental health and mental illness. Grow up, okay? Because this is a narcissist. This is a piece of shit. This is a guy who lied, and that's a slippery slope when you're lying about mental health and mental illness. So you know what? I'm not feeling right because a guy at my work, he messes with my head. He makes me mentally, I got mental health issues. So now everybody can just do it in all walks of life. Oh, Jimmy's not nice to me. Jimmy's not nice. This was a lie. It was a sham. It was to make sure he didn't lose $1. And that's because of his agent, Rich Paul. Okay? I see it. Everybody saw it. Everybody with eyes watched this process here in Philly. It's easy to sit in the nosebleed and tell us what happened here. Okay? Because you weren't here. You weren't in this war. All right? You weren't dodging grenades. You weren't here. So after the fact, now y'all want to act like, well, Ben's right. I mean, it was a nasty situation. We don't know what a man's going through. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We sat here.
He made it nasty. It wasn't nasty. He made it nasty.
If he would have just told us this before the season started, we would have been all like what we did for Lane Johnson, okay? We would have been massaging. Did you hear this city do anything when Lane went out? Or Brandon Brooks? You all remember this? So stop shaming this goddamn city when we back our players when they're honest with us. We don't back liars because we see through it because we're real fans. We've been through it. We sat through a freaking process to get to here, and then we are sold, like I told you already, sold on a bag of bullshit. Okay, and this bullshit lied to our faces and then sat up there with his freaking cute chain on, freaking turtleneck, freaking Australian, go get our shrimp on the barbie. All right, you loser. Okay, and you're going to tell us, well, it is what it is. Grow up. It is what it is. You lied to people. You lied to people who work 9 to 5s and work their ass off, who are really going through shit. You're a piece of shit. Just say you want out. You don't got to bring up nothing about mental illness. And then you said the organization knew. When? Because not one report came out before you lost money about any of this. And then you're going to talk about, well, I'm not going to talk bad about teammates or coaches. That's not what I do. Shut up. Just shut up. Like, you're perfect. You just quit on your teammates and coaches. You're the worst of the worst, and the basketball gods will not allow him to succeed. Shit, I could do this all night. I could rant all night about this guy. And I'm so happy he's gone. And there's people out there that are actually like, I don't really like the trade, though, guys. I mean, I think we could have did better. We could have waited to the offseason. I mean, my goodness, what are we doing here? Like, knock it off.
I thought last week was the last time we were going to talk about him.
Well, he comes up in the trade because there's people in the chat, Ralphie, that want to talk about it. Don't want to be like, well, we lost the trade. We lost it. We lost.
Tom, we sat here on a Monday, and I'll find the clip and I'll put it up in the archive when we put this on socials. Like, we were sitting here on a Monday and we did a lock of the week. It was right before he was supposed to have that infamous press conference that never happened because he got kicked out of practice. You and I both said before there was any rumors or anything, we called it. And we didn't play the source game. We just knew who this guy was. And we said on Thursday, that coming Thursday, he will cite mental health because it was literally days, not weeks, not months, days after the Lane Johnson announcement. We said he will cite mental health because then he can then go under the whole agreement by the NBA and they could cite, oh, okay, it's mental health. Therefore, they cannot deduct my pay. Check. And 2, to protect his image, we cannot criticize him because of the mental health. And what do you know? Not because we were told or we had sources. No, we followed the patterns and common sense that this is what the guy's going to do. Not even
behavior. That's as simple as that. Like, look it up, everybody out there, and then just go through the timeline. And then the key word is narcissist. It keeps coming up because that's what he is. He's a terrible human being. It's about him. Real quick, right? Sean, appreciate the super chat. He says, yeah, I can't get over the fact a large portion of the people in the media blaming us Philly fans and talking so badly about us when he was in the wrong. It's ridiculous. Ben Simmons is a crumb. Listen, crumb in a decade, Sean. Crumb in a decade. And maybe even more than that. I'll have to go back and look. Jeremiah, so you guys enjoyed the presser? Or I know he's talking about the bench.
No, I heard about in the presser, he'd be ruler of the free world. So,
Tom, I just want to add this one thing because you and I talked about this before we even came on the show tonight. Like, I'm done with it. Like, words can't describe how happy I am that this guy isn't out of our lives because, listen, we're going to play Brooklyn. We're probably going to see him in the playoffs, all that. But just in the sense of like a day in, day out operation standard, he's out of our lives. And I saw that presser yesterday, the alert for it, and I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel any anger to go and watch it. So I truly am done with the guy, and I look forward to the day where we can finally wash our hands with it. But I just want to say to the national media people, like, I could say it's lazy because it is, just, to look at what they're doing and say, yeah, it's lazy narrative because they don't know the full story because they haven't lived it like we have or like any Sixers fan has. And I don't expect them to. They're national media people. But Jesus God, like the fact that we now want to now paint a picture that he's a victim and he's escaping a bad situation. And now Harden is the victim, or I'm sorry, he's the villain, not the victim. I don't know if it's that Philadelphia always has to have a villain, and it was just a Simmons for Harden swap as much as it was in a basketball sense as it is for a villain sense. But stop. You don't know the full story. And if you really want to take the 5 seconds and don't even play the source card, you would know that this guy had every chance in the world to be transparent with his teammates, coach, ownership group, and GM. And he never even tried until his money was tampered with. Then he went under the illusion of a lie and he threatened arbitration. His freaking agent compared it to John Wall in Houston. They tried to say that, oh, they are keeping money away from us when they don't even realize that the Houston John Wall deal, it was mutually agreed upon that they're going to pay him to stay at home. They were threatening to sue the Sixers based off of mental health. That's how, forget Crummish. That's how disgusting this has gotten. And it's beyond basketball. It's disgusting that these people are willing to go that low to make themselves look better and to get paid. I don't give it to him if he didn't get along with Embiid or Doc or Daryl because, he got scared because he was mildly criticized. It's beyond basketball.
Well, you just said it. I mean, when you're mildly criticized and you're a narcissist and it's about you and you don't do that to my image, right? This is what you get. This is what you get. All right. And listen,
he got mildly criticized and he got scared and he went home and he took his ball and went home. And guess what, dude? That's your goal.
2022. How you doing?
That's just great. But to me, I'm so happy that we got rid of him. And yeah, part of me is worried about him paired up with the two guys, but guess what? Whatever.
I want it that way. I want it that way. Ralphie talked about it earlier. Like if you gave me an option and I knew and I could trade him to the Nets, good. Because I want to see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see you. I can't wait to see you. All right? I can't wait. I'm freaking pacing the house waiting to see you. And I know this basketball team is too. So I love it. Listen, go to a rival, please, because I would have traded you to Boston for Brown. So, I mean, you don't got I didn't care where I was trading you at because I just got to get rid of you and get myself a star back. And that's what I did here. Listen, 123 people watching over on YouTube. Make sure you pound that like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Over 15 live shows here on the platform, and we're always giving. And we are brought to you every Wednesday night, and we're going to get into our little, not necessarily rapid fire, but we're going to get into some of our questions that some will be rapid fire and some won't. All right, so we'll have some fun with that, and we want all you guys out there, make sure you comment in. Let us know what you think about everything we bring up. We try to read off everything that comes on the screen. All right, whatever comes across the prompter, we read. So we are brought to you by BetUS, and BetUS is the leading online sports book who has been in the market for over 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. Use the link right in our description. It's pinned over on YouTube, and you get 125% sign-up bonus, family. Listen, take screenshots of it that you signed up. Send it over to us on our socials, and we'll put it in our stories, all right, because we want to keep promoting it. We're trying to be givers here. We always talk about it. It's about giving. And 125% sign-up bonus was a no-brainer for A2D to hop in with BetUS, and we've all heard of them. Okay, so make sure. And the bigger thing is you're helping us grow too. You're helping us grow with this as well because we're trying to be the biggest and baddest around. Not that we aren't already, but we're always trying to grow. We ain't trying to be stagnant. So we're trying to bring you more and more things that people want. And I know people like to gamble. And listen, head on over. If you only use your 100 and your 125% sign up, then go ahead. Use whatever you want. Stay over there if you enjoy it. But you can literally bet on everything, and you can bet anywhere in the U.S. And that's the big kicker because a lot of sites aren't available everywhere. In the U.S. So
I'm down in Florida. I can be a degenerate again.
Remember the link. Make sure you got to use our link. It's pinned in the comment section over on YouTube. Use the link. Okay, and get yourself 125% sign-up bonus. It helps A2D. And while you're at it, subscribe wherever you're at. Follow us on all our social medias, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch. We're over on Twitch, too. Everywhere you get your podcasts. right? Download us. Come with us. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, iHeart, everywhere.
Tom, can I just add one really quick thing to that before we go to the questions?
Yes.
And we talked about this last night. Like, we always get asked, whether it's, in our DMs, mine, Tom's, all of us, like, oh, hey, what's the easiest way to help you guys at A2D? And like, it's always been like the memberships, obviously, the promo.
Still are. Become a member tonight. If you're not a member, we giving out picks. Nate's giving out picks. We got a bunch of stuff that I know Frank and Nate are working on to give you a little game show, right? We got big things coming for our members. So don't go in a second, but don't hesitate to become a member. $9.99 a month, right? You get discounted gear. You get everything, and we see it. We see easier in our chats too, and that's the fun part.
Yeah, and like I said, like that's always going to be there. Tom isn't joking when he says, like, this is obviously, and this is the easiest way to help A2D. And it's also, you're helping yourself because you're getting a big time bonus. And we're not here to lie to you. Like, you hear all the time, like, oh, it's not just helping us, it's helping you. Like, we really mean that. And we don't need to tell you that. You just need to look at it for yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting the money back, you're getting the rewards from it. And it's really, really rare, to Tom's point, that you can literally bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Like, that's extremely rare for this day and age.
Yeah,
so
I'm guilty as charged. I placed a couple shekels on a few games last night. Checked it out, and although I did not win, it was a very easy experience.
Because you didn't listen to Nate.
You should have lied, fucking Frank. Just tell him you won.
Everybody wins on social media, Frank. Everybody wins.
Tell me you won 5-0, Frank. Come on now.
a little bit ain't hurt nobody.
But
he's checking bet slips, Frank. Come on now.
It was a good experience on Bet US, and I wish my picks were on the winning end, but it's a good experience on there.
Listen, it is anywhere you're getting it, But listen, go do it. John, you were the first member in A2D history. But listen, guys, it's pinned. BetUS, our link is pinned right in the comments over on YouTube. 125% sign up bonus. Help us, help yourself, get yourself some walking around money, and go win some money off of it. Right, that's the goal, people. And listen to Nate, and you'll win some money off of it. Simple as that. We're going to get in a little fire away questions. And since we're here, we're going to talk a little bit about some daily fantasy, since we're talking about the NBA. And you can go to FanUp, which is your best way to enjoy fantasy sports. They had daily NFL contests, not no more. NFL is over, but they got NBA daily contests. So win great prizes. Another promo code. Use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. It's a $50 value. FanUp right on the Apple Store. Listen, what the we got, man? It's freaking promo code Free Money City, baby. Free Money City. Nobody felt that. Okay. First question. Well, we already talked about question number 1, and that's finals or bust. So we're not gonna dabble with that again. But the question number 2, is it a mistake to keep Harden out until after the All-Star break? And since I have to just go pee real fast, I'll answer it first. I don't think it is. Like, of course, I want them to play because I want them to get their chemistry together. That's just common sense with like 24 games left, 20, whatever it is. Okay. So of course I want them to get their playing time together, but I also don't know how true I believe the hamstring is. So I think it's just them prolonging it, like to make it look good. So there isn't any like more tampering things that happen here. But I think he's fine. I think Dwayne Wade said it last night. Like, you don't do step backs like that, even in practice, on a bad hammy. So, I mean, that's just 101. So I think he's fine. I think he just wanted out, and this was his way out of there too. And so I'm not overly worried about it. They're going to be on the court right after the All-Star game, an All-Star break. And guess what? He gets a little bit more time to have healthy legs, right, Greg? Because I know he's coming off the cliff for you. So now he's going to come back.
He needs the rest.
Legs. Healthy
he needs
legs.
the rest.
Yeah, you go freaking lap dance city. You get the rest.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's off his legs at that point. At least he's sitting down.
You're the worst. Like you are the most. There's people with an agenda in the world, and you lead it. You lead the pack.
Jesus Christ,
right, Ralphie? I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, man.
The only person, well, outside of the chat, because there's There's a few guys in the chat that probably need to get just like something thrown off their head real quick, and then they'll wake up and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you're right, Tom. You guys are right." But besides them, I mean, you are the leader of this guy's not good. But all right, that's the question. Answer it out there, fam. Are you worried? Is it a mistake that Harden's out until after the All-Star break? And as soon as you guys are done, I'll be back with question number 2.
Go ahead, Ralphie.
I'll go quick. No, I don't think it's a mistake. I think it just gives them more rest, and obviously they play one more game, and then the All-Star weekend is this weekend, and I think they come back the 25th, so next Thursday against Minnesota. So you give them more period of time to rest a hamstring and then get him full back 100% coming next Thursday. Oh, and by the way, Tristan Thompson is going to the Bulls. He's signing with the Bulls.
That's all right. Robin Lopez, don't worry. He'll be on his way.
Before I get out of here, I think I agree there, Ralphie. And it's funny that, Greg, you didn't get any credit for your comment about him just at least he's sitting down. Love it. But I agree, man. I think whether the hammy's good or not, he's been playing a lot of minutes over in Brooklyn because they've been hurt. So the fact that they can keep him out, give him at least a little bit a week, about a week, just to get his legs under him, get some shots on, keep, kind of get the sweat build up, build that camaraderie that you do in just practice and being around the guys. I think that's a good thing. So I think that they're looking at it for the long haul. They need him at the end. They need him in the playoffs. And he's always going into the playoffs kind of run down. So I think it's actually a great thing, whether he's hurt or not, that they actually keep him out until after the All-Star break and try to go on for the second run. Because he'll need the rest. You know what I mean? Because, he's going to be playing 30. You're going to be playing 30-plus minutes for sure.
Yeah, Nate, it's only one more game until they come back next. It's only one more than the All-Star break. So.
Yeah, but he's been here since Monday, so you really get the week. He gets a week off. So I think it's a good move. You know what I mean? Just to get it, just to hang out, right? It's almost like you're just hanging out with the guys shooting basketball, just to get to know the new players that you're around. Right? You got to go through the whole whirlwind of being here in Philly, the media, the fans. Your appearances. People are going to want you to, be here, be there, be at appearances and stuff like that. Get all that nonsense out the way. Then you do the All-Star weekend, and then you come back and play ball.
Nate, I'll touch on the one thing you said because you're spot on. Like, people think, I've seen so many times in the last couple of days say, "Oh, we'll just throw him out there for 15 minutes." James Harden, we can say a lot of things about him. When he plays 100%. He goes a million miles an hour. So he's not going to go out there for 15 minutes. He's going to play either 0 minutes or he's going to play 38. You know what I mean? So with the schedule, and again, I understand why some people could say it's a disadvantage because you're waiting what's going to end up being like 2 weeks, to get a guy. But really, it's not that 2 weeks doesn't exist if the All-Star break isn't here. You know what I mean? Like, it's really just, he's probably just missing a handful of games, maybe 3, 4.
Yeah. Essentially, if the All-Star break wasn't coming up, I think he plays tomorrow night. You know what I mean? I think he plays tomorrow night. But with the All-Star break here, he's not even going to be playing in the All-Star game. Gives him another week of rest. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
At the very latest, he plays, this Saturday or Sunday if there was a game, right? And to your point, Ralphie, if everyone, I'm sure somebody hears what I just said, like, oh, he plays Saturday and Sunday, and be like, oh, well, Ryan, why is he not playing in the All-Star game? Because it doesn't mean anything, guys.
It's a pointless game.
It's because he's hurt, right? I mean, that's the kind of exactly the conversation we're having, right? He pulled out of the All-Star game because he's hurt. So you can't necessarily play before and then not play the All-Star game, right? So,
he's unlike Simmons, he's playing the part of like, oh, he's not 100%. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ryan. No, go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, I agree. It's fine. When you look at it, what's it going to be? It's tomorrow's game is really the only issue, right? After the trade happened, it really wasn't realistic. For whatever reason, it took him like 6 days to get from Brooklyn to Philly.
Houston.
He was in Houston. That's why.
He's in Houston.
He was checking some. He was saying hello to some people.
Checking on his properties.
Yeah.
He had to make sure he said bye to his girls, man.
Yeah, it's true. But it wasn't realistic for him to play the other night. just coming in. And I think it's actually more valuable for them to get him in a week where you have 2 games, you have 1 to 2 practices, and get him around the guys. I think it actually works out better in this scenario than to just throw him in games right away. And then a break coming up. If we weren't at the All-Star break, would it be concerning? Yes, but it's not.
Yeah, like I don't see a reason, and I get it. Everyone's talking about, oh, well, the seeding. I get it, but you're weighing pros and cons. Do we really want to ramp him up when he isn't, like, say, for example, he's 85%, 90%, whatever. Why ramp him up just for him to go away for another week?
Yeah, the seedings are going to work themselves out.
It's just like the selfishness, not selfishness, but, like we all just want to see it, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing. I mean, besides that, you guys are all 100% right. It's just,
I can wait. Like I don't mind. I don't mind waiting because it's like I just care what he does in the playoffs. And be honest, in my head, like that's all I care about. I know what he's going to do in the regular season. Like I know what he's going to do. Like we've seen it before. You know what I mean? He's gonna. But I just want to wait into the playoffs and then let's make some money in the playoffs because that's where it really counts, right? We got to get past the second round for without a shot. Everything we talked about early in the show, we got to get past the second round. We got to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and like I said, finals. The poll question itself, finals or bust. We got to get there. But so as long as it takes for him to get ready, I don't care if he needs a lap dance tonight. I don't care. Get there.
Well, they're perfect to go after Deshaun Watson this offseason. We can team up Watson with Harden.
Don't compare those two. Don't do that. Don't do that comparison.
No, that was a good call, Ryan. I like that. Great call.
Don't compare that. That's not fair.
No. Listen, everybody loves a rub. Green. What are you talking about?
You okay, Green? What the hell are you saying?
I hate Harden more than anybody in this world, but that's outlandish.
Yeah, I would just. I don't want to tell you to stop watching because you probably love it, but I would tell you to dabble with some other things. Maybe the G League, since you want to overrate players, go overrate some players in the G League. I can't believe this in real life. I feel like I'm
green.
Yeah. I feel like I'm being punked. I mean, you can smoke as much green as you want. It should light your ass up. It should make you be like, oh, you know what? The more I think about it, like maybe go smoke something green. You know what I mean? We'll probably have a sponsor coming your way with that too, and promo codes shortly, I'm sure. But go rip a little, go enjoy yourself because right now you're in a bad place. You and Ben are in a bad place together.
Green. I would say you're Seth Curry's burner account, but he's not even saying those words, comparing himself or Seth to James friggin' Harden.
Right. And everybody in the chat, like with those stats, they were against the Knicks and the Kings. Like, come on.
I don't care if he was against Milwaukee and
Kevin Herter ate his lunch in the second round of the playoffs last year. Okay, he couldn't defend me or you. Kevin Herter chewed him up. So just stop. Okay, just stop. And I'm not saying Harden won't get chewed up, but he got chewed up by a guy. But can we be real? By a guy. And Seth had a very good playoff run last year, but you thought JJ couldn't defend? Seth said, hold my beer. All right, so just stop. He's a good shooter. All right, good for him. I'm not worrying about what happens in Brooklyn. I'm going to worry about what happens in Philly. And that's what we should all be worried about. And did everybody answer that question?
I don't think. Yeah, I guess we did. Yeah, I guess we did.
Okay, so we're talking about worried. Are you worried that Harden will force his way out of Philly like he did in Houston and Brooklyn?
I think Greg should start.
No, he shouldn't. No. I'm not worried. He came, me and Ryan, we talked about this, right? Like he came to a place where he's got, it's like best friend city. Like, he came to a place almost that will say, let me do some of the things I want to do. Right, because all these players have when you're at this level, they all have some things they want to get away with, they want to do, right? Maybe if I'm if I'm close, I know AD hurt again. Is that AD? Not a shock.
Yep.
I mean, that's just death and taxes and AD getting hurt.
Maybe you should shave the unibrow.
Yep, shave it off, buddy. Go get tickled with your pants off. Sorry, that was a video from a long time ago.
Oh,
but
I got that reference.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got that.
But the facts of the matter is I'm not worried about that because of everything that he came here for, right? And I believe these players, and I mean that, want to be in situations where, hey, if I'm close to Vegas and we're out there for a trip, you're gonna let me go over, enjoy a night, and then I'll meet you somewhere else, right? So these guys want to get away with some of these things. And, I think he came to a place where when you talk about, we not even talk about Daryl Morey, we already know that, but what me and Rye talked about on other shows is or just in conversation is the Michael Rubin side of things, and they're best buddies. So this is why it's tampering city over here. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I'm not the least bit worried about it. We can say he ran himself out of Houston. I almost think that's bullshit. Like he did in a way because he came looking like he was 400 pounds, but that team became atrocious around him. So it's like, okay, you're because certain things didn't work. Now it's like we're rebuilding around me, like we're in rebuild mode, but I'm here. No, I'd rather go somewhere else where I have a chance to win.
Everybody, I'll replicate before everybody else goes. I'll just replicate what we talked about on the phone the other night, Tom, with what you're alluding to. The thing with Houston, everybody that covers the team in Houston will say the same thing. He was on the way. It was a mutual separation. Like, I understand it looks like because he goes on a press conference after a game in the beginning of the season, and he said, listen, it is what it is. We're going to move on. Things aren't working. I feel like it's best to move on. It was a mutual agreement. They were rebuilding. They had full plans to move on with it. Like, I don't understand why people say, like, they compare the Brooklyn thing to the Houston thing. Am I a fan of players forcing their way out of places where they have under contract? No, but it is the NBA. I honestly... And Bill, I'll read that in a second. I don't even want to know.
No, you go ahead. I'll read Bill.
Okay.
I'll read Billy.
Everybody talks about, it's going to work in Philly because of Joel Embiid. And yeah, it probably will because of Joel Embiid. But they just stop there. They don't expand on it. And that's fine because we were just looking at it in a basketball sense. He's had a very long-standing relationship with Michael Rubin, one of, obviously, the powers that be with the Sixers. We obviously know his relationship with Daryl Morey, so I don't even need to go into that. It was revealed, and I don't even know how much it was revealed because Tom and I, you and I have talked about this on shows in the past before Harden was even rumored here. He's wanted to play with Doc Rivers for years. Doc Rivers was asked, and James Harden was asked the same thing, about when Doc Rivers was fired from the Clippers. There was reports this time last year, a couple years ago, that anonymous Houston players reached out to Doc Rivers to try and recruit him. Doc Rivers was asked, hey, was James Harden one of those players? And Doc Rivers said, and I quote, he was the player. James Harden talked about how, as much as we don't want to agree with this, and I hear you, like, he's one of the best coaches there is in the game. I've wanted to play with him for years. So
would you ask Pop that?
Would you ask Pop that? Very good. So you look at the relationships he has with Daryl and Rubin, and then you go to Doc before you even talk about the players. I don't think he's in the business to screw over people he's had relationships with. I really, truly don't. Listen, there's always a chance because it's the NBA and it's the biggest soap opera in sports. And maybe this will be like on Old Takes Exposed in a couple years. It's like, Philadelphia thought it was, they chose, he chose them. I really think he's in for it in the long haul. I think he's going to opt in, whether it's for all the money or whether it's to help the team get a third star. I just think he wants to win, and he wanted to join the guy he didn't think should have ever been fired, and that's Daryl Morey, and the guy who's the best basketball player on the planet, and that's Joel Embiid. So I have no worries about it whatsoever.
No, and the other thing, right, Chrome brought it up in the chat. We brought it up earlier on the show for people just tuning in. There's a really interesting little tidbit from Zach Lowe, and he was talking about a theory where Harden didn't opt in yet, and it was because, like you just talked about, he's willing to take less so they can bring in more for 2 years, and then years 3 and 4, cash in, right? So that's sort of the direction on why that didn't happen. But go ahead, Greg, or whoever's up next.
No, I'll go. And there's got to be a little bit of a worry. Just because it is perceived to have happened in the past.
Yeah, listen, if you like bad takes, family, hit the damn like, hit the subscribe, stay with us, stay with Uncle Greg. Go ahead. I'm just messing with you.
No, absolutely. Hit pound it. I'll tell it like it is.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just saying there's got to be a little bit of a worry just because it's perceived to have happened in the past. Do I think it's going to happen now or next year? No. Would I wish it happened 3-4 years after we signed him and he's this old man walking down with a walker? Yes, I want it to happen. But no, I'm not worried at this moment of that.
Yeah, and Kyrie's a loser. Everybody wants away from Kyrie Irving. Okay? Kyrie Irving is a loser, and it has nothing to do with anything that it would be brought up. He just is. He just is. He went to Boston, was a loser, right? Every time he went away from LeBron, he was a loser. Great player. Tons of ability. We know all about it, right? But I don't know if he's a winner. And
he's a ruiner. He's a ruiner. He's not a loser. He's a ruiner. Everything he touches, he ruins.
Yeah, dude, he ruined Boston. They should have been. They should have been the Eastern Conference Finals team.
They're the team that we thought. This goes way back.
Dude, they got to the Eastern Conference Finals without him. Remember he sat out?
Yeah. The year they beat us. The year they beat us.
Yeah, Ralphie. I forgot.
Remember he got hurt and they lost the game 7 to Cleveland.
Yeah, that was LeBron's last year in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other side of it too, right? Guys always hurt too. We don't even bring that up.
Yes.
Guys usually always hurt.
Yep.
And then he comes back and it's like, oh, well, we got to the Eastern Conference Finals. We choked, but we're not gonna talk about that. We got to the Eastern Conference Finals without Kyrie. Now we're gonna get Kyrie back and we're gonna be better. They sucked. They were awful. They were talking about, oh, we got to get him the hell out of here. He got out. I feel like he's missed more games than he's played with Brooklyn, and it's just like it's all. You look at him as a player on paper, it's like, oh, that should help a team. But then you realize, like, oh, wait, this is what he is. And it's like, okay, of course he's going to ruin things. And I'm not even talking about all the extracurriculars. It's just anything that Kyrie touches, he ruins. Very good basketball player.
Because he came back the following year and they lost in the second round.
Yes, he choked. He was the worst. Ralphie, it was like Ben Simmons hold my beer. If you go back and look at that, he was the worst NBA player in the playoffs who logged more than 30 minutes. In the entire playoffs, anybody who played more than 30 minutes a night in that playoffs, all teams, he was bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, and
it's
right. He's made big. You know what the crazy thing is? Like when he was at Cleveland, he obviously made big shots in the postseason for them to win. I mean, I remember a lot of big shots. So it's not like the ability wasn't there. And you're right about all that information. And it's crazy to think it. Harden didn't go to the Nets because that's where he picked to go. That's where he was traded to. And yes, because in terms
and that's what he brought in the press conference too. He brought that up too.
He
didn't get the pick.
Greg. And Ralphie, and the other fact is he went to, like, if he's going there with KD. He's not going there with Kyrie. And now KD's hurt, right? So now it's just like, again, it's all on him.
He's basically back to square one with him. You know what I mean?
Well, you hear your name.
Everything's on his shoulders.
Yeah,
It's Houston East.
Well, not even that, right? Like if you hear your name brought up, like a team wants you, and you know that team is the Sixers, and you have the relationships you do, you're going to maybe pull one of these moves.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that this is how guys operate. We can't even criticize what he's done when we watch what happened with the guy that was here. I mean, this is nothing. This is amateur hour. This is amateur hour.
At least he plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess I'll go next before I get out of here, man. I said I tried to make it an hour. Of course, it never works. But yeah, no, I don't think it goes anywhere. When you guys were talking about it, I thought about it for a second, and I feel like there's always something that kind of switches why he makes a decision to leave. Obviously, he was in Houston a long time, but then there was a rift between him and Chris Paul. And then he gets to Brooklyn, and obviously there's another rift with another player. And then he's had other players in Houston with him before. And then even going way back to OKC, I think he just got kind of ran out of OKC. They just think they thought he was the third wheel, and it looked like he was the third one at a time. But once he got on his own, he's shown that he probably should have been two to Durant and not Westbrook. This is the way it went. So if you think about it, it's always been kind of like a player thing, right? Like just working within the ecosystem of players. I'm trying to think of a time where there would maybe have been a coaching issue where he felt like, he didn't belong, or, it was a rift or problem, because him being with Dan Antonio was perfect with that system that Dan Antonio had in Houston. Mm-hmm. So like he was just tailor made for it. And obviously we saw the numbers for that. So the only thing I can think that might run him out possibly is Doc, right? Outside of Greg, but it's just Doc's inability to make good decisions at the end
you
of
ask
the
Pop
game.
that, though, Nate? You wouldn't ask Pop that.
I would ask Pop that question for sure.
I think Joe, honestly.
You think Joe? You think it'll be if there's a problem? You think it'll be Joe? I think it'll be Pop and not Joe.
Yeah, I think it's Joel Embiid written all over it. If there is a problem, like if there, you know what I mean? If there's a selfish problem or a not in the win problem, like I believe 21's in the win it, right? He wants to win, and I believe that more than anything else. So if other people aren't buying in, he's gonna get salty, right? And he's gonna say things like he's not afraid to say. I do agree with John. Doc would be gone before Harden. I don't even think we're there. We're not even close. Nah. I don't care about Mark Stein.
Really? You think that just because of the report about Dan Antonio? Why would you want Dan Antonio here?
Exactly.
No.
Oh no, Nate. I don't want to put words into Tom's mouth or anybody who agrees with that. But like to me, when we say and John says like Doc would be gone before Harden, I don't even think about the D'Antoni rumor. I just think if I'm Daryl and this has been the white whale ever since I lost him, if I'm Daryl and there's an inkling that, maybe there might be friction between Doc and Harden, I'm firing Doc Rivers into the sun before, you know what I'm saying? Like, God, goodbye.
You're
gone. We made points that Harden wanted to come here to play with Doc.
Yeah, that's why I'm not worried at all.
So, I don't even think that
doesn't mean it's going to work.
No, not necessarily, because when you don't get over, when you don't win, it creates divide, right?
Yeah, winning solves everything.
But who would create that divide? That divide would be created by Joel. Joel would have things to say. Like if he comes up small in Game 7, right, in the second round, and they don't get over a hump, right? Then, Joel's going to, and he's like 5 for 20. Joe's going to have things to say. So, I mean, that's where I always are going to point to because he's not afraid to speak his mind. And when you're gigantic in locker rooms, nobody's going to come up and try to get up in you. So you're going to say whatever you feel too. He fought lions. He told us this. So he's not.
Do you not think Harden's just as maybe not in this locker room, but in the locker room, Harden's just as big as a presence?
Absolutely.
Is?
Absolutely to a point. Okay. But I really believe those two want to play together. I'm not like throwing things against the wall and hoping they stick. Like I really believe that those two are smart enough basketball guys. And Joel really listens to guys like Shaquille O'Neal. Like much people think he doesn't. He listens, and he's always on social media. He hears what's brought up about his name, and I think he understands the points that I was making earlier and other people have made. When you team this kind of situation up and you buy in, great things happen, right? And I think he now becomes on. I think Joe's always bought in. So does James buy into his role? And in the presser, all I can go off of is he talked about making sure Tobias got his, making sure Tyrese got his, right? And making sure guys are involved. And I think that's very important when you come in. And you can say it's just coach speak, but I would say it goes to the mental makeup of a player that wants to win and also listens to things and stuff that's said about him too, because all these guys do, right? So I think if they really say, hey, ego's at the door, these 4 guys say, hey, it's all about winning. I don't think there's an issue.
Sky's the limit if that happens.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's smart, right? It's smart to know that you're the star and that you got to go get yours when the time is called upon, but you also need the other guys around you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you need the other guys around you. You can't. It's a team game. There's not many people who can just take it over and just win it by themselves. We've only seen a few of those, and we understand who those guys are. And in today's game, they're just built. The teams are just built with so many stars. You need that Batman, you need that Robin to your Batman. You need that other counterpart, and then the other folks are filter in, man.
Yeah.
So no, I definitely get it, man. But let me get out of here, man. It never fails that I can get out of here in an hour.
Hour and a half, pretty good out of you.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, fellas. I'll see you boys later. Make sure y'all go and get on that Bet Us app. I will be reviewing it on Sunday on Money Pot. And if you guys are still around, we'll get you the code. We'll get you the info. Let's fucking go. A2D Radio, Money Pot Podcast. See you, boys.
Later, boy. Later,
See you,
Nate. Yeah, D'Antoni said someone would cook his niece. All right, Frank, Ralph, go ahead.
Go ahead, Frank.
Can you repeat the question? Because my internet decided to give out on me like Ben Simmons in the playoffs. So,
are you worried that Harden will force his way out of Philly like he did in Houston and Brooklyn?
Absolutely not. I just don't see it happen. I know James Harden. I know it's been said.
See you, Frank.
Yeah. He's struggling.
Ralph?
Yeah, so I'll go real quick before he comes back in. Yeah, I don't think he forces his way out just because I think that he wanted to be here, and you saw that in this press conference as well, where he, numerous times says, I didn't have the choice of where I wanted to go last year in the offseason, and my first destination was Philly, but obviously I ended up Brooklyn, and now he's in a place where he wants to be now. But I don't think he forces his way out like he did this year and last year.
Agreed, Ralphie.
I don't even know what just happened. Of course, when I talk mid-sentence, it goes out on me. I just don't see it happen with all the rumors of him, wanting to be in Philly. That was the team he wanted to go as he left Houston. So if the rumors are true that they're going to, if he wants a little bit of money, hey, let's get a third star and, let's build a dynasty.
J Abs, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I couldn't care less about picks. And also Daryl asked that when Eskin brought it up, you have ways to free that up. And it's not
we do have first round picks though. He's talking about the only thing they can't do
is trade them.
So and yeah, right, you're right. He brought that up on there's wiggle room and there's ways to like what Miami did.
Yeah, he I love how he threw Miami under the bus. He's like, oh yeah, Miami just figured it out in some kind of gray area, so we will.
We will too, yeah.
I'm sure he got a call from Pat Riley.
Yeah, thanks, Jay, for the super chat, brother. We really appreciate it. Listen, there's over 100 people watching over on YouTube right now, and like I said before, if you can hit the damn like, get us over 100 likes for this show. Okay, hit the subscribe. The road to 10K. Help us get there. All right, we love you all. We want you to be here for a while. And before the next question, just because we're pumping out reads like it's nobody's business, but we are brought to you by BetUS. And I just want to find it so I can pull it up here so people can see. It's all about seeing. BetUS is the leading online sports book who has been in the market for over 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything. Use the link right in our description over on YouTube. It's pinned there, and you get 125% sign-up bonus. Ba-boom. Ba-boom. All right, pinned right in the comments, family. Go use the link, 125% bonus. And while you're at it and you're up there, hit the like and hit the subscribe too. Get us over 100. Get us to 10K, the voice of the goddamn people. The next question is Embiid and Harden the best duo in the NBA? Yes. You guys say anything else? Yes.
Until I see it, I can't say they are.
You're a fraud.
Who is then, Ralphie? I'm just curious. I'm not saying I disagree with you.
Yeah, that's why I just went yes quick, because I don't know who that is.
I'm looking at a list right now of like the standings.
There's very good ones. Good ones.
But like gut feeling, Ralphie. Who would you put ahead?
Number 180.
No.
I don't know if those guys play basketball anymore.
Trying to think.
Like, would you put Paul and Booker over him?
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying in the chat.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Would you put today's age Steph and Clay?
Drew and Giannis, that's a good one. Drew and Giannis, that's a good one.
Are we going duo or are you going big man, right? I mean, are you going
are we going like two stars together?
The best two players on a team. So the best two players on the Suns are Chris Paul and Devin Booker. The best two players.
Drew and Giannis, that's a pretty good one.
No, listen, Middleton and Giannis is a pretty good one. Yeah, nobody's going to debate that. But neither one has the star power this has. I mean, you have arguably the best player in the game and a top 10 player with them. Who else has that?
Yeah, but until I see it, then I'll make the case for it.
This is the only one.
On paper, it looks great.
Steph and Clay are probably there.
Yeah, because they're known, right? They've done it. So to Ralphie's point, he's seen it, right? So
yeah, I haven't seen these two guys play with each other yet.
Steph and Clay, I'll put right there.
Ben and KD, that might be up there, Sorry.
Do you want me to get in the car and drive over to you?
Sorry.
No, I think they're the best because listen, Clay and Steph are great, right? Nobody's ever.
Oh, dude, it's lethal, dude.
He was so
quick 2 nights ago.
He was. He really was. That was even quicker than me.
Jesus, I almost didn't realize he said it. I'm like, wait a second, what did you just say?
I think they're right there. I mean, they arguably could be the case for
probably
the
number one. Yeah.
Because I would put them over Steph and Clay right now, though, because of the way Joel's playing.
Yeah, and like the one thing I'll say to whether it's Drew and Giannis or Middleton and Giannis, I might get flack for this, but right now I kind of make Giannis and Embiid like it's a wash. Like they're both awesome.
Yeah, so who's better, Harden or Middleton? Or Harden or Drew?
And it's Harden.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's Harden for both of them. Like I don't think there's a question about it. Like Middleton's very good, but he's also extremely streaky. And up until last year, Middleton, listen, if we want to talk about playoff struggles and disappearing, I mean, Middleton was there.
He was the reason they went out and got Drew.
Okay, so you can make the argument here when you look in the West, okay, and you look at big threes, okay, then you guys go and answer. But you look at big threes in the West, okay, and you can make the case for Steph, Clay, and you can probably put Wiggins in there or Draymond, whatever way you want to go, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you probably go Draymond for what he brings, but Wiggins is a walking bucket.
I guess the tradition is Draymond, but this year it's Wiggins.
It's Wiggins. Wiggins is playing really good basketball this year. So
he's an all-star for a reason.
In a couple years, it's going to be Kuminga. In a couple years,
yeah. So I look at them, right, and then I look at the Suns with the three they have. If you add 8 in there, right, okay, and then I look at our 3, and I'm not even going to go 4 because that's like not even fair. I'm just going to go with our money guy, and that's Tobias Harris. I can make the argument that we have the best 3 in basketball. Like I can sit here and make the argument. Listen, Philly Sports Passion.
The best 3 in basketball, Tommy. All hell, take injuries out of it though.
No, guys.
Don't do injuries, Chucks. I'm going to start calling you Chucks. Don't do that.
But I haven't seen these 3 guys play though.
Well,
so that's why I'm leaning more towards of a Clay and Steph or a Paul.
How's this no way? How's this no way? Bill, how's this no way, Bill? Philly RB, what's up, brother? I see you in the chat, baby.
Tobias Harden and Embiid are the best 3 right now in basketball. That's the best triple threat right now in basketball. Those 3. You said Harris, Embiid, and Harden are the best 3 right now in basketball.
First, I mean, come with the firepower.
No, I'm just saying, like, not in order. I'm just saying, like, those 3 are the best right now in basketball.
You're talking about a duo.
I disagree with that.
I think the duo is right there.
You threw Harris in there
because I want to look around the league. I want to have a conversation with you, and I think they're right there. I mean, you can make the argument that you take Golden State over, and I'm not going to argue with you. Then I'm saying they're the second. How's it stop it, Bill? Oh my God! You know when other fans of other teams come in that just want to be on the hate train. Who is better? You can say Golden State. Okay, after them, then
it's when you add Harris. I'll give you.
Is that a bad thing? No,
because he stinks.
Stinks. Okay,
but I'm saying like if you add Harris, like who would you rather have, Harris or Ayton?
It's not Harris or Ayton. It's not who would I rather have. It's breaking out the 3 on what they do, what they bring to the table, and the argument is on why you can make the case that they're the best 3 is because of the big man. Like I just don't understand how this conversation changes dramatically when you're talking about this guy and then you're talking about
Tommy. The three in Chicago are pretty good too when they're fully healthy.
Oh God!
Stop! Are they bad? You're telling me the 3 in Chicago. You're telling me the 3 in Chicago.
DeRozan, Lonzo, and Levine, all 3 of them healthy. Tommy, come on.
They're better. They're better.
They're up there.
They don't even have a person at the dominance level of Joel Embiid on their team.
Okay, Ralphie.
All 3 of those players you would take over
you went
Tobias,
Chicago
correct?
threesome and didn't even put in Vucevic? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Embiid will destroy.
No,
they put Maxey in there.
Those players you would take over Tobias, and I know you would.
Okay, to put Maxey in there.
Don't lie to the fucking people.
Okay,
not lie to the people right now.
You're talking about trading people. That's a different question,
I'm
Ralph.
not trading. No. Trading.
He would take Harris over Levine. Okay,
you're telling me about getting Lonzo. You're talking about other players. Of course, I'm not telling you other players aren't better than him. I'm telling you to take him out and add Maxey in then. Then switch it up then.
No shot.
I still don't think.
No shot that 3's better than what Chicago
there
has.
Yet.
With Maxey in it? With Maxey?
I'm giving you semantics on, but whatever one you want to put in.
I get that, but I'm not. That 3 is not better than Chicago's.
Come on.
Ralphie, you know I'm a Levine guy, but we're better than Chicago. Stop it. Stop.
Yeah, I won't even go Chicago. I mean, I think Phoenix, Golden State,
Phoenix is pretty good too.
Listen,
come on, Tommy.
I disagree with I disagree
with
last year. I disagree with a lot of what Tom said. I don't put them as 1 or 2. To me, I think we're probably 3, but we're better than Chicago.
Well, then you guys are giving me semantic. You're talking about 2 in the West and nobody in the East, or if you want about 1 team in the East. At the end of the day, they're still at the top 5 trio in basketball, right? The top 5. So knowing that, you can make if somebody's top 5 in something, guys, the argument can always be made.
I never said I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're not. Those 3 are not top 5s. I just think there are better 3s. They're better 3 pairs in the NBA than those 3 right now.
Well, you're just going off at Tobias and everybody's going off at Tobias, and then you're just
because it is Tobias, right? That's your third guy. He's making max money, Tommy. He has to be your third guy.
Okay, and he's not a good enough third
guy.
What,
$36 million a year, Tommy? He has to be your third guy.
Okay, and he's not a good enough third guy?
No.
I don't know yet.
Stop.
I don't know yet. He's
not
good too.
He was the one that takes that down.
Okay. We know DeRozan's winning in the playoffs.
Tommy, you sat here multiple times on this show, crushed Tobias Harris, and now all of a sudden you put Tobias Harris in, and they're number 1 in the league for threesome.
I said two because
but the argument is we already passed that with the duos. We already said our piece on that, but then you threw Tobias in.
He's saying they're top 2 trio.
I can't do that. They're not top 2.
They're 1 or 2. You can make.
No, they're not. Tommy, no, they're not.
If Golden State, I don't care. Then they're 2, which means
Golden State's 1. Phoenix is 2.
No, they're not.
Probably 3. Oh, Tommy, you're nuts, dude. Do you watch?
You're looking at the whole team. You're not looking at just 2 players. So you're telling me you'd rather have Chris Paul and Booker over Embiid and Harden? You tell me that.
We're talking about 3 guys.
Yeah, we're talking about 3.
We're talking about 3. We're not talking about 2 no more. We're talking about 3 guys. We just went back
to the duo. So Ryan just brought up that we were talking about the duo. Okay, and that's when we circle back to
3 guys. Yeah,
hold on. We're circling back to the duo.
Harden and Harris, right?
We circled back to the duo again. This is what we did. Everybody stay on course. We circled back to the duo, right? And what
did I tell you? I can't make that decision yet because I haven't seen them play yet. That's me.
That's
but then
fine.
You said, let's bring Harrison into it, right?
I have to go off projected.
I still don't think those 3 together right now are better than what it is in Golden State and what is better than Phoenix with those 3 guys.
Okay. So then what are you having? 3?
Yeah, at least top 3. Absolutely.
So then how can you argue?
The Celtics only got 2. They only got a 3, dude.
So how can you argue they can't be argued as the 1? No, because
they can't be.
You just are poo-pooing.
I'm not poo-pooing. They're not. I'll give you a top 3. They are not number 1. I'll give you, dude. Listen, we watched a whole stretch of 5 years of Draymond, Clay, and Curry run the league for 6 to 7 years. Tommy,
that's cool.
6 to 7 years, and they were back together, and it was only Draymond and Steph, and they were still running the league this year before Clay got back.
Okay.
I mean, those 3 right there.
I didn't argue
Golden State are number 1. Number 1, and then it goes Phoenix.
How many times have I mentioned that everybody can give them everybody can give Golden State up because of their track record? I said that. I've said that 5 times.
Okay, so if it's between Phoenix and Philly, we're down to, right?
Yes.
I'm going Phoenix.
Okay.
I'm going Phoenix.
And I'll just reiterate.
On that hill. I'll die on the hill.
Good, and I'll die on the hill of having a generational big man. I'll die on that hill. Because that automatically
it's a damn shame Phoenix isn't going to give Ayton his money. It's a damn shame.
Listen, I'll die on the hill that I'll take those 3 over those 3 because I know what Joel Embiid is. So you want talking about knows and what we know and don't know. We know how special he is. So you start the conversation with him.
So are you taking swap out? Okay, so we'll cancel out Ayton and Embiid, right? So now we're down to 2.
You don't cancel it out. You can't cancel that out.
Why not?
They're not cancel worthy. Are you fucking kidding me? You're talking about the best player in the league. You're canceling them out.
You can cancel Giannis and Embiid because they're almost identical players.
I'm still taking Phoenix. I'm still taking
Phoenix. You can't cancel Ayton. Joel dominates Ayton.
Walk through me. Embiid or Ayton, who are you taking?
Embiid.
Okay. Now, take age out of it because it's only fair. We're talking about this minute. Okay?
Yep.
Who are you taking? Harden or Booker?
Are we taking injuries out of it too?
Yeah, we're just taking healthy. Ready
Chris
to go.
Paul. Give me Chris Paul.
I didn't say Chris Paul.
No, Ralphie, damn it.
I said Harden or Booker.
Damn it.
Oh, Harden, Booker. Excuse me, Booker.
Okay. So I guess you would take Paul over Tobias,
and I would take Paul over Tobias.
Okay, I'm not putting Booker over Harden.
That three of Paul, Booker, and Embiid would be deadly. That's scary.
Oh, of course, but I'm going to take Harden over
scary
Booker.
Shit. Okay?
I'm taking Harden over Booker for right now, right this minute.
You can also flip it. Do you go Paul over or Harden?
Yeah,
I thought you were going to go that.
That's where I was. That's why I was. The timing was going.
That's where I thought you were going.
Okay, well, if you go Paul and Harden, who are you taking?
I'm going Paul. Going Chris Paul.
Okay, I'm not. I'm going to stand on the hill.
Well, if Harden was still on Brooklyn, Tommy would be like, yeah, Chris Paul.
But either way, it gets you to the same destination if you're Ralphie, because then you're taking Booker over Tobias. So it's still 2-1.
I just want a 2-1. I just want a 2-1. I want 2-1. If you're talking about the way I rated it.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying, Ralphie, not you, Ralphie.
Ralphie's up 2-1 the way he rates it. I'm up, or he's really a 2-0 because he's watching Embiid and 8. That should just cancel it all. But like even that, guys, that's why I'm looking at it different. I want you to understand that I'm not going crazy here. I'm looking at like who has the pure dominance of a big man, and then the things that go around it, right? So nobody does. We talk about how good Golden State is. If they shoot the lights out on you, it's over, right? But nobody in the country has this guy. Nobody. So then you talk about the pieces that are around him, and a guy who can walk around with 25 a night with him. I mean, I know let's do this speculation, but it's still like if you're telling me they're top 3 and they're the best in the East, okay? You would say they're the best in the East. That means that's the whole point. The whole point is when you're talking about the best, can they get to the destination, which is the NBA Finals? And when you're talking about big threes, this big 3 ranks right up there if you want to go 1, 2, or 3, because listen, it's just our opinions on it, right? So, but 1, 2, or 3 makes the argument that any of them can be won. That's all my point is. Like, I'm not going to run and sit here and tell you I'm taking them over Golden State. I'm just going to take my big man over anything out there. Anything right now. Anything. You can tell me Steph Curry. I'm telling you no. Right this minute, I'm taking Joel Embiid. And people tell me, Tom, you're fucking nuts. And I'm going to tell you, I know how championships are won, too. Fucking big men. Let's go.
Let's do this, okay? And we know that they're the best, but I just want to see something. I just want to see what happens. Everybody chime in on this. Big 3 with the Nets, right? Because I see a bunch of people talk about big 3. What about the Nets big 3? Okay. Would you rather have, and we're going to put the same things that we did with Phoenix, taking out age, taking out injuries, just the player at their best. Embiid or Durant?
Embiid.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to say this every time.
Embiid over Durant?
Ralphie?
Why do we got to start off with this one?
Because I like watching
because
the world
we
burn.
can.
Because I like watching the world burn. Because that's
Embiid over Durant, and we're taking injuries and age out of it?
Everything out of it, just them at their best.
I'm going Durant.
Okay, yeah.
I have to.
I don't have an argument against it. I'm just going to take
That's so,
so
hard. No, it's so hard because
it is hard.
In my mind, I'm with
so
Tommy,
great.
right? The big man is there, but Durant might be the best player of this generation.
Okay, but Durant also, this is what I want to tell the people because people laugh at me in the chat. You crazy, Tom? You're nuts, Tom. Look at the numbers. Nobody in the NBA does what this guy does on a nightly basis. Nobody. We're talking about averaging over a point a minute. That is disgusting. Everybody needs to lock in on the pure dominance and the list of players that we posted on our socials that he's in conversations with. Okay, so Kevin Durant is an all-time fucking great sniper, a killer. I love Durant's game, all right? But I'm taking what this guy has done in this moment. I'm taking him over any name you want to bring up to me.
Okay, so you go with Embiid over Durant. Now Kyrie or Harden?
Harden.
Okay.
Harden.
I'm going Harden.
Greg, I guess you're going Kyrie?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so here we go.
What Heat 3?
Simmons or Harris?
What Heat 3? Simmons.
Oh, man. God damn it.
See what I did? See what we're doing now?
Yeah.
And you also see what people are doing? Like, they're thinking I'm shitting on a guy because I'm taking one guy over. No, the chat. Like, they think I'm shitting on
him. Yeah. But you're absolutely not. I mean, it's...
No. Like I'll take
when you
either
have a
or.
when you have a dominant big
I'll
man
take
that
Simmons
runs
over
the
Harris.
NBA, it's just you had to put those two up because
Yeah.
they're the centerpieces of the threesomes, right?
Nobody
You know
can stop this guy. Are we fucking okay? I feel like people don't watch. I feel like people just go, oh, it's KD. Like, you know what KD is? We know what KD is. Have you seen a guy like this? Damn it. Nobody's seen a guy
Have you seen KD when he's on his game too, Tommy?
Oh, I know KD. That's a bad man, Ralphie. But I also know that nobody in the world can stop Joel Embiid.
The only hesitation I think is
Marcus All can.
Yeah, you can.
The only hesitation I think is this Joel is a different Joel than we've seen in the past.
Yes.
We've seen a very good Joel, right? We've seen a very good Joel in the past. We haven't seen yet up until this year. We haven't seen that dominant, that game changer Joel Embiid that we're getting this year. So maybe where a lot of the holdup is in people thinking that it's outlandish to take Joel over KD is KD's been that guy since like year 2 in the league, where this is Joel's first glimpse. I don't even want to say that, but his most dominant is right now. He's been very good. He's been MVP-like, but he hasn't been all-world until this year. And maybe that's what people maybe want to see a little bit more of a track record, right?
Yeah, track records are fair.
Want to see it a little bit further, but you're right though. I mean, what we're watching and what we see on a nightly basis is just out of this world right now because the league has gone away from the big man for so long. And it's like, and he's over here like bringing it back.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, oh, you guys remember us? Remember us 7-footers? We can do it too.
Tom,
listen, nobody can stop KD. I get that. But we just watch this guy dominate on a nightly basis where he's like eats people up from anywhere on the basketball court. Go ahead.
So does KD.
I'm not saying he doesn't.
It's a wash.
I'm factoring in the big man. That's what I'm doing. I'm changing it up. Like if you're talking about any guard in the league, I'm taking KD. But this is like I'm dying on this hill right now, saying that I will take a generational big man over anything.
And that
anything.
But that's why I think this question is kind of loaded though too, right? Because any duo, any threesome, the positions are totally different, right? Because you're absolutely right, Tommy. Mm-hmm. Like if you sit there and you go, all right, your next big three, Kyrie, or Ben Simmons, whoever you want at the guard, Kevin Durant and Andre Drummond, then those positions are there, right? You're obviously taking Embiid over Drummond. You're taking Durant over Harris, and then you can flip-flop, or you're probably taking Harden over the guards, right? But because so much of the league doesn't have a dominant big man and doesn't have a traditional, even like a pick-and-roll duo, it skews these questions around because the skill sets and the impact of some of these guys that have on their teams isn't the same or correlated to what Joel brings to the Sixers.
No, we're talking about a first team all defensive player here too. We're just not talking about an offensive game alone. You name all these players and you tell me one that plays both sides of the floor and can change a game like he can. Nobody can. The only guy that's done it that you can make a case for is Clay because he was a first team all defensive guy when he was fully healthy, right? So Clay plays both sides. KD's never been known as a great defender. So I'm factoring in other things besides just maybe one of the greatest snipers I've ever seen in KD. And I'm factoring in the fact that, like, have we seen this? We've seen dominant big men. We've seen good ones. We've seen ones that are great with their back to the basket. Stop saying Giannis. I don't want to hear Giannis. They're different. Those two are different. Giannis is just pure domination. Like, nobody's ever going to – like, Giannis is a problem. So, of course, you got to take Giannis over Joe. I get that. But because they're both gigantic. So, I would then say, okay, sure, I'll take Giannis. But right now, when I'm watching from Joel Embiid, I'm going to take Joel Embiid again.
I think the reason why – oh, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead, Ryan.
Well, I was just going to say real quick before we get lost in the shuffle because I want everybody to answer this. Simmons or Harris?
Harris.
You see.
I'm not even going to think twice about it.
I'm going Ben.
I'm going Ben. I'm going.
Wow. This isn't just talent, guys. This isn't just talent. This question's got to be bigger than just talent. No, not come on, Tommy. Not come on, Tommy. This has to be bigger. No, it's not Tommy. This has to be bigger than just a skill set. This has to be bigger than a skill set. We're now taking a guy who won't shoot. Come on back home. Come on. You know what? It's okay. We love you here. Like, Tobias Harris isn't good enough. I get you, but as a third option, I'm fine with it. But I'm not taking it. I'm taking everything over this guy. We're willing to trade this guy for anything. And now we're taking him home. Now we're bringing him back home. Look at us.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's what just happened.
I don't have any ties, so I can take back.
Brian, you've been in this boat with me the whole time. Don't you goddamn
I said take emotions out. If we're taking out injuries and age and all the fantasy, we're taking out the hate.
You didn't say emotion out. You just talked about age.
We're taking out injury. We're walking on water.
Injury isn't lying. Injury isn't lying.
If we're taking out injuries,
can't take that out of this.
If we're taking out injuries, we're
I can heal a
fantasy
motherfucker's
land.
knee. No.
If we're taking out injuries, we're in a fantasy land. Of course, we're taking out emotions.
I can heal motherfuckers' knees. I can do other shit like that. I can't heal what I just watched for the first time ever in the history of watching sports. I can never heal that. Like, there's no player you can tell me, Malik Monk. You know what? I'm gonna take Malik. Like,
I'll take Malik over Tobias. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
If you're offering, I'll do that.
I can say, Ben, I don't got no ties to
you. Got no ties. You live in your world.
So I'm safe.
Me and Ryan got to be in this boat. Don't you dare. I'm not Mr. Tobias Harris. You know me, and I know you're not either. But give a good teammate a bone. That's what we're doing here. We're giving a good teammate a fucking bone. Right? Maybe we rally around you a little bit, and we'll get the best out of you. All right? I'm never taking that guy again. Never. You can tell me right now, hey, Tom, you're trading Shake Milton for Ben Simmons, and I'm done. I'm out. I quit. And Shake can go for a bag of balls, but I quit. Never. Nobody ever. Fucking loser. Piece of shit. I hope he tears his knee up, and I never say that about players. I hope he has 42 ACL surgeries. 42 of them. Guy just can't get a knee right.
Take that back. You can't do that.
No.
Embiid's gonna fall off the plane, Tom. Don't do this.
Fine. On the Ryan.
He's never fine. He's never fine. Take it back.
I'll take the knee back. But what I will say is, I hope he gets attacked by sharks in Australia because I know they're aggressive over there. All right. I hope a shark chews him up.
Got the top 10. Like 9 of the top 10 deadliest animals over there.
Just wish like an off-season injury. Don't do it.
I'm wishing he gets. He
said sharks.
No, that's fine. I'm great with the sharks. That's.
I
awesome.
hope his marriage fails.
Oh, the knee comment's lame, Goldie. Grow up, Peter Pan. The knee comment's lame. This guy's like this guy. I can't even do it. Everybody.
No, it's not lame. No, I'm thinking the same thing as Tom. It's not lame. It's just I know how this works, and something bad's gonna happen to Embiid if we say these things out loud.
I wish ill will on scumbags. That's what I do. Nobody else in the world, just scumbags. When you're a piece of shit, I wish some ill will on you. I don't want you to die. Nobody's wishing death. Just an arm off.
He
doesn't shoot anyway. He doesn't need it.
Yeah, he doesn't need it.
No, yeah, just your right arm or your left. All right, just distribute. You're like that freaking guy on Instagram, the one-armed kid who's freaking delicious, by the way. Probably better than Ben. He has no problem.
Yeah, the high school kid.
I don't even know who you're referring to, but yes, I would say he probably is better than Ben.
Yeah, he is really good.
Typical Philly fans. Grow up, Tom. Typical Philly fans. We gave the guy blowjobs and lap dances for fucking goddamn shooting a free throw and making it. We gave the guy standing ovations for shooting a three and making it in a game against China. By the Hercules. We were all running around. I remember me and Ryan talking, oh my God, it's here. It's happening. Fuck you. Yeah, Bill, I'm wishing injuries on pieces of shit.
Off-season. I just want to clarify. He means off-season. Therefore, nothing bad can happen to us.
Matthew, I'm not biased. Okay, if you're talking about Ben, I'm biased and I have an agenda. Okay, but Joel, there's no agenda. Like there really isn't. Like everybody knows how I feel about big man. If you listen to me talk basketball for a long time, all right. I love the dominant big man if you have the right things around it. Right now, everybody wants to be Steph and Clay. That's generational shit, man. That's something you might not see for another decade. That's how good of shooters those two are. And everybody just thinks they can go and copycat it. And how much has it worked out for people? Let's be real. It hasn't. Not like it's worked out for them. So you need generational, right? And that's why I'm just on the Joel Embiid train because I love the dominant big man. If you know my love for basketball, everybody knows how much I talked about Shaq and I love his dominance and how he just, that impact is It's easier buckets, right, guys? It's an easier basket when you're around the hoop than when you're jacking a three. I'm not an analytical guy. I'm just a common sense guy. So I'm going to take that guy first, and then I'll start taking everything else. Now, if he's just good, no, absolutely not. But what he showed us this year is the growth, right? Right? We thought about Ben, Greg, Frank. We talked about the growth of Ben never happening and becoming stagnant, right? We watched through Joel Embiid's career, right? We've watched the guy get better every single year. Every single year he's gotten better in some part of his game. Now, this year, it's the relaxing on double teams, right, Greg? It's the not panic mode. It's the woosa, bad boys, get rid of it, right? Okay, find the open guy. We've watched this growth. And when you watch that, you're saying, we all clamored for a guy to play with him because it's time to win is now, right? We talk about years past. I say, lay off the guy. He's a baby still, right? Guys don't win championships until start to be 27, 28. That's how the league's always usually gone, okay? Now, Kobe won one early, but he fucking had Shaq, right? So it's a little bit different, but that's how much I love the big man. You talk about Hakeem, right, Rye? A little bit, not before your time, but you were way younger, you guys. Hakeem had Clyde, and then once Michael was out of the league, those guys could go win some, right? You look at Duncan and Robinson, and then you look at Timmy after the fact. Timmy was a dominant big man, dominant in a different way, but was a killer around the bucket. Okay, kill you mid-range, kill you everywhere inside. Great post moves. When you have those types of guys, usually the runs of rings start. I can't make that case for every other player that's just a great player in the NBA, right? I can't always make that case. I can with Mike, right? Name the other ones. Steph, Clay, LeBron. Who else? Kawhi cut one down, or cut two down. Even the one, I think he was with Duncan. But you know what I mean? He
with Duncan.
He was.
So you're talking about the KD only won one because he ran over with them, right? I mean that's easy, and that's not a shot at him. Go win one, brother. You deserve one, right? But it's KD. KD's impact on winning a championship is very big. But I would just put Joel's a step bigger because of the position. And that's what Greg would talk about.
Would you, and I'm not comparing, right? But I
Good
always
talk.
Everyone talks about with the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe for obvious reasons. It's infamous. And Ralphie, I'll kind of defer to you on this because
he wasn't a fan back then.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was halfway in. He was halfway.
He's not even old enough for Shaq and Kobe.
No, I'm not going Shaq and Kobe. I'm going more recent than that. I'm going afterwards.
I'm just picking on your outfit.
We always. Where do you stack up the duo? And I'm not saying again, it's not Shaq and Kobe, but the duo of Kobe and Gasol. Because Kobe Gasol was pretty damn good too.
He won back to back with two bigs down there too.
You know what I'm saying?
He won with Gasol and Bynum. There's 4 and 5s.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, as much as we talk about Shaq and Kobe, which that's we don't need to talk about what they did. It was obviously amazing what they did. You saw a couple different versions of that. You know what I'm saying? With the guard mixed with a dominant big man or a very good big man. And Gasol was nothing compared to Shaquille O'Neal. Or you know what I'm saying, Ralphie?
Yeah.
Gasol was a great player, but I don't think it's unfair to put them. Now, granted, they didn't win championship yet, right? So you're putting them there. You're putting the cart before the horse a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So, but at the end of the day, this is all about projections. This is what we're here to do.
And then, you know what? Going real quick,
they're right there,
Tommy.
Ralphie. That's all. They're right there.
I think it's easy to go and compare Shaq and Kobe to Harden and Embiid because really that was the last two shooting guard and center domination we saw in the league. Like that is the last one, right? So they're always going to get whatever duo in the league is always going to get compared to that because that's the last one until the next one comes up.
Absolutely.
Ted says it. 1-2 punch. 1-2.
Yeah.
Funny Tim Duncan story too. I don't know if anybody's heard like KG talk about Timmy and his subtle trash talking when Tim Duncan.
Yes,
played.
I heard about that. Yeah, it's great.
Like if you haven't, go like Google or YouTube Kevin Garnett talking about how Tim Duncan would just use subtle jabs and just murder guys on the court.
Yeah, it's great too. Yeah,
I also think
he was such a quiet guy. You would never think he would come out.
Yeah. I also think too, except for a handful of seconds there, if we're Sixers fans looking at this, we're in a really good spot because other than for like 30 seconds in that conversation, we didn't even equate Maxey into this. We didn't even factor him in. And he, again, like, we're not going to put him as far as the big three because, Ralphie, you make a very good point. You really can't, just because of the money situation, you have to equate Harris into that because of how much of importance he is. But then you talk about, okay, fours, a core four per se. Like Maxey, we haven't even really scratched the surface with him yet. So we were excited about what he can provide to us this year, but it's that, okay, what is he going to turn into now that he can go back to what he was truly drafted for? And that is just scoring and being that ultimate energy guy. And you see how he's dramatically improved from the three to where that was his biggest criticism coming out of college. He's not really a perimeter guy. He went from 30.2% in his rookie season. Now he's over 40% from three. That's unheard of when you talk about a guy who had
from year one to year two.
He had very limited playing time last year.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? It just shows you when you have the ability that he has and you're willing to work.
Yeah, he's the
when you draft a guy that's just a workhorse, on the court and off the court, and
he's the anti
shows a lot.
That's why I love him. I love him because obviously you just get that he's that sense of joy watching him.
You don't see him taking a step back in the short term with this deal.
Yeah, I do a little bit, but I think Doc.
I think this deal impacts him almost more than anybody.
I might see some growing pains short term, but no, not long term. No.
I don't really see anything short or long because I see Doc putting him in positions to where he's almost by himself on the court at times, where he's going to be able to be aggressive and take over a second unit at different points in the game because he'll play him 36, 38 minutes because he's young. So he trusts him to play him those minutes. And listen, with Sammy there and Doc there, I mean, when you want to talk about having the right guys around you.
No, you're absolutely right.
As a point guard / two guard, combo guard, you're in great hands. And I think that's why he's going to be okay.
Yeah, no, I just look at, some of the growing pains that came out of this year and even last year when Joel was in and out of the lineup, right? And some of those growing pains of playing with a big. And then now you add another guard, who's really good. And the growing pains that are come with that, because there's going to be growing pains, right? But, we all touched on it either tonight. I know Ryan already did, but we've all said in the past, I mean, the guy has the work ethic and the want to be very good in this league. So I don't think it's necessarily a long-term step back, but I at least envision a short-term, small kind of finding myself out type of period.
Well, he's done that with Joel,
Right, that's exactly, yeah.
Great.
He's going to try to be not passive, but see you, Frank. But he's not going to try to be passive, right? He's going to just try to pick his spots. Yeah. And I think once they play together, there might be a game or two where he's feeling himself out. But I just got to believe that this coaching staff is going to put him in positions to run other units and be aggressive and still get his numbers. And I think they're going to do the same for Tobias. I can see a lot of times where Tobias and Maxey are your two guys on the court with a shake.
With the second unit,
Yeah, with a shake.
And you can give Maxey the keys to the second unit, right? You know what I mean?
You could also kind of, and don't take this.
I know what you're going to say.
But you could also stagger when you have Joel and James on the court to where there's almost zero parts of the game where neither of them are on the floor, right? Whether it's James, being one of the first out and coming in at the end of the first quarter and stuff like that. So there, to your point though, there's a lot of ways that you potentially could roll, especially with Maxey and Harris and their flexibility of rolling into where you're maximizing having a dominant guy on the floor at all times or most of the time.
So what you're saying is the only time Harden and Embiid would be on the court together is the first 4 or 5 minutes, the last 4 minutes, and let's say the last 2 minutes before the half.
Yeah,
potentially. There's going to be more. There's going to be more time.
Yeah, I'm just talking about a structure.
James isn't playing 25 minutes a game.
No, but you know what I'm saying. You know,
better with Tobias and Maxey playing more at times with your second unit because you have enough scoring there, and you want them guys to be aggressive and get their shots off and be confident. So when they are playing with those other guys, they are. So I think you're going to get more of that than the other side of it. I almost think Harden and Embiid, and there's going to be times they don't. But I'm going to say the majority, they're almost down together at times or close to it. They're going to play minutes without each other, just the way the league works. But I think the majority of the time you're going to see more of a Maxey and Tobias because they need that. You know what I mean? You need those guys to step up. You need their scoring, and your second unit isn't great. But if you have those two guys on the court, I actually like our second unit a little bit better.
Maybe we don't lose leads.
Yeah, because Shake and Maxey can score. Like, I know Shake's not great, but he can at least score when he's good, when he's ready, right? And Niang can give you buckets. Sorry, right? And then Tobias is going to give you buckets. So you don't have a second unit where it's necessarily a dumpster fire. I don't even care who the big man is. It can be Paul Reed and just bring me energy. Like, that's what you want out of a second unit anyway. So in that unit, I got a ton of energy. I'm flying, right? I'm up and down the court. Sorry, Rye. Last thing, I'm up and down the court because the whole unit can run. You know what I mean?
I think you're going to see a lot of...
Cut him off again.
No, you're fine. No. I was cutting him off. I think you're going to see a lot of three-man tandems of Harden, Niang, Green. And on the flip side, I think you're going to see a lot of Maxey, Thybulle, Tobias.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of Maxey, Thybulle, Tobias, and I think you get a Shake in there. There'll be times you have a Harden in there.
Shake coming back is actually really big for the team.
I think it gives them clarity.
When you making this deal, you lost obviously pure depth, right? You went 3 for 2, right?
Well,
so you lose. You do that, but you get something back in Shake, and it's something that we've missed for a while. And again, not sitting here saying Shake Milton's the answer, but he's definitely a lot better than seeing some of the direct that we've seen over the last couple of weeks on the second
15
unit.
minutes a night in the playoffs off your pine. You'll take it because the guy can score. There's no crowning, but this essentially was a 3 for 2 deal. Like a 3 for 3 if you really factor it in, because you get Shake back, you lose Ben, he wasn't playing anyway, so you get Shake back. There's a cancel, okay, and then you have Harden and Millsap if you even play, depending on if you play, but it's really a 3 for 3 deal.
Yeah,
eventually, because you getting Shake back.
You're getting Shake back.
Yeah, me and Rye talked about we thought he was going to be out for a while longer, and then he
I
played.
was shocked he was back this soon.
Yeah, I was like, what happened?
He's been out for so long. Did he even start the season? I can't even remember.
No.
Yeah,
He
but Tom, to your point, he's had back contusion. He had back spasms.
I have that every day. Suck it up, Peter Pan.
I honestly didn't expect to see him back anytime soon. It came out of nowhere. Like, there wasn't even any ramp up period. It was just like, oh, he's playing tonight. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest thing that
it was one of those with the trades that he needed to. Remember we had the COVID game last year where what was it? Mike Scott had to play.
Oh yeah. Well, the same thing with these Miles Powells and Charlie Brown Jr.'s, which again, with all due respect, I can't wait to get some buyout people in here. That way these guys don't ever see the floor.
Yeah, you know what's funny, right? Is I had 2 more questions here, and the one I didn't even see when we brought it up, and it was the big 3. Right.
That's what I was going to say. I was like,
we already kind of had that conversation.
I didn't even see it, so we just brought it up naturally, which is great because I wasn't scrolled down to that question yet. I was on the one before that, but that's funny. But I just want everybody to know I'm not trying to be biased. I like debates. I like different opinions. It's good for conversation, especially when you're going over 2 hours like we roll. And again, I'll just keep reiterating it one more time because people don't listen. Is my love for the big man, and just how I look at the NBA and how I always have. And then we're gonna get into the buyouts and get out of here. But we'll give you some names. I know people are asking, and if you're asking, you better hit the damn like. You better hit the subscribe.
Can I ask one more quick question? I don't want to go off track too much, but I meant to put this in that list, Tom, because I've heard so many people talk about it since the last time we've come on air, and I'm almost asking you guys if I'm missing something, really. So my question to you guys is, compare this acquisition of James Harden to another acquisition in Philadelphia sports past. Like, what's the closest comparison you can think of to this? I'm interested to see where you go, because I think there's an obvious answer that not many people are talking about. I think you and I, Tom, talked about this on the phone. But other than that, I haven't heard anybody say it.
Are you more talking about the hype around it, or are you more talking about
situationally
the potential impact?
Just everything, the whole shebang.
Well, I it's probably not going to register, but I remember when we made the Bynum deal this city was on fire for us to get a big man.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle or like right before the beginning of that process. This city was on fire to get what we thought was, quote unquote, a caliber young big man of what Andrew Bynum was. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know if that constitutes, but I know we were on fire. I almost bought season tickets for the Sixers the day that deal happened.
Yeah, I agree with Robert too, Greg. I agree with you too.
Yep. T.O.'s a good one.
T.O. was like the perfect fit. Don said Harper. That thought we were going in a different direction, but I do like that because there was a ton of hype around it. Like, we felt like, hey, we can now talk about postseason. We can talk about other guys wanting to come here, right? So I mean, a lot went into that one in like a different way.
Yeah, I didn't even look at free agent. I was more thinking trade wise.
Yeah. But anything like
that's a good one though too.
The Owens one's got to be the one though. I mean, I don't.
That's the one. And Ralphie, let me know if you thought of another one too. But I thought that was so clear that it's T.O. because of the questions from the old organization, right? The fact that he did have a bad standing with where he came from. There was a lot of drama, but also it was that move that finally got. I mean, how many times have you heard me say this on Mondays, Tom, that the Sixers can't make the mistake that the Eagles made with Donovan? They have to get him help. Well, that answer for Donovan and the Eagles way back when, it was Terrell Owens. So, like, it was, okay, we've arrived. It was that type of move, but it came with a lot of drama. But the guy just at the end of the day, when you put all the extra aside, he's just a friggin' monster. So
you made the case for Jimmy Butler a little bit too. Just a trade, the hype. We were all excited that starting five was.
Yeah, and you kind of like, the whole star hunting thing, and you finally go out and get a star. You know what I mean? That whole thing. So you finally make a move for a star.
It was close.
That's not a bad comparison.
I just think T.O. takes the cake out of everything.
No, T.O. is
basketball. If you just want to stay in basketball, mindset, that's what I was looking at. Like, just basketball. But like, that's close. It's close. It's not.
Yeah, the only thing the reason why I didn't think Butler, Tom, and you're not 100% wrong, it's that I never considered Jimmy Butler a top 10 player in his sport. T.O. and Harden are in that bubble.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
No question. Jimmy's a fringe star.
Like top 25, top 20.
Yeah,
I can make that argument.
Yep, it was just the excitement of getting him here, but again, it doesn't match what they just went out and did. Like the T.O. matches, Moses Malone, if you're going way back, and then that brought home a championship here. That's the last time we won one. So if you want to talk Sixers wise, the last time we won one was when we went out and did something like this. And what was it? What we go get? We got a big man. All right. But at the end of the day, we went out and got a star, the team with our other star. And that's why we went out and won. So, and you had a good roster too, good starting five. But, Moses and Doc, hey.
How sad is it that we're going through this thought process and no Flyers trade or acquisition comes to mind?
No, I mean, some of them, like, nothing crazy. DJ Augustine. Sorry, Greg. I was just going to get the buyouts. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I said, but nothing got them over the hump or even close to the hump.
I'll go one.
Like, no trade, no all-season signing generated any type of buzz for the Flyers in the last.
Well, and don't forget too with the Flyers as well is they always gotten the star that was well out of his prime, right?
Yeah, Vinny LeCavier.
Yeah, right.
3 years
and
later,
Peter Forsberg and the rest of them.
Paul Coffey.
Yeah, Chris Pronger.
Paul program, but just Chris Pronger.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick,
you remember that?
Canada's winning 3-0 over US in the gold
medal. Herb Brooks. I'll give you two baseball ones that I've heard, and this might anger Tom because I know how he feels about the one player. I've heard Cliff Lee as a comparison.
Boo that man.
I would think Holiday more than Cliff.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, Holiday right there with you. Cliff Lee. Listen, it was big. We were all jacked up, no question about it.
Oh, best rotation in baseball. We're going to the World Series.
Man.
Yep, but no, not after what he
shit the fucking bed.
Boo that man.
Tom,
there ain't many sports things that Tom and I agree on, but this is one of them.
Yeah,
I think that's
that man.
I think we all can agree on that one, Greg.
And Bill, yes, I want to see the Nets. So yes, I want to see the Nets round 1. I'll see him whenever, any day of the week.
Again, as much as I might not like the trade at all, right? And this is obviously very documented. If Daryl Morey goes out and gets his guy, it doesn't matter where the other guy goes.
Yep.
You can't think of that. It doesn't matter. If you get your guy or you get the guy that you want, it does not matter any iota where the other guy goes or how he potentially makes that team better. You can't worry about that if you're getting your guy.
Tom, I know you wanted to get in buyout, so I'll just ask you guys who's at the top of your list, player-wise, as far as buyout.
I don't know, probably Gary Harris.
That's a good name.
I mean, if you want to talk about big men, I don't know which big men are like left. I heard something like.
Well, Tristan Thompson was like the number one, but I know he went to Chicago.
The names I've read that are potential guys: Cody Zeller, Ennis Freedom, Robin Lopez, Eubanks from San Antonio. I think there's one other one.
I might just stay with what I got.
I like Lopez. I really like Lopez. He's a really good rebounder.
It's an uninspiring list of buyouts. And
I
know what it is.
I almost try to go get a guard and just say fuck the big man because I'm not crowning this guy, but I just think you have a big man. So if you're forced to go get one, then something happens, God forbid, then different story. But I mean, the minutes Paul Reed, he's like a dog on a hardwood floor. But the minutes he gives you is important because he does rebound for his size. He does block shots for his size. So all these names out there are just like, okay, are they really upgrades from that? Besides they might be like 6'11" or 7 foot. Yeah, so it's just like, Tristan Thompson is 6'9", 6'10", 6'9". I mean, but he'll board all day. So that's all I need from those types of guys because you're filling in for my best player. So you're not filling in for like, I need you 25 minutes a night, and if you give it to him some nights, okay, especially in the regular season, because I got Harden out there. I got Matt, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not like overly worried about that. It was Tristan Thompson or bust for me because all the rest of those names are just irrelevant.
You know what's funny? And this goes to, and it's a shame Frank left because he would have loved me saying this. When Greg, you were talking about earlier about, the fit, and as far as like James is really good with a lob guy or like a lob center, on paper, who's a perfect match, who's already on roster with James Harden, it's Charles Bassey. Now, again, I'm not saying like he's going to come in right away and be like awesome, but just he's that lob center.
Yeah.
So
and so's Reed in a way too, because he'll just cut. And I'm not a big Paul Reed guy.
Well, that's exactly it. He's going to cut, right? Both of those guys are pick and roll guys, right? And so, you're absolutely. If he's on that they do fit with that big style that he's traditionally played with.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about the size. Like even though they're 6'9", both of them, right? They're both listed as 6'9". Even Bassey is too.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like Bassey's taller, but whatever. The great thing about both of them is they play above the rim. So they're both athletic. They both can block shots. They both can give you enough depending on what night you want to go. And I think they have a little bit more confidence in Paul right now. That's why he's getting the minutes because he's just proven that he's going to be all over the floor. Like he's going to go for loose balls. He's going to rebound. He's going to block shots. He's going to do some of the dirty work. He's going to foul some motherfuckers. He's going to get in there and get dirty. And that's what you want in that spot. That's like the guy you're looking for. That's what Drummond is in a way. He's just Drummond's a pro and he's big. He's bigger than those guys.
Two things. Like one, with the Paul Reed, it's literally like watching a car accident in basketball. Like I feel like when I watch him play basketball, it's
Dwight
watching
Howard.
a car accident.
It was Dwight Howard last year for us.
Yeah. I think Paul Reed's a little bit better foul shooting, but
without the techs.
Yeah, without the techs.
Fouls.
Even though for as good as Dwight Howard is as a quick tech, Paul Reed gets on the floor, three quick fouls. Like, oh my God, he might have the quickest fouls I've ever seen. Like I blinked for 2 seconds. Like, oh my God, this guy has 3 fouls.
Yeah, if you give me 8-8, you can foul away.
Yeah,
well, give me 8-8.
The other thing too, when you talk about size, Tom, Harden won't mind because the last 2 teams he came from, Blake Griffin was his center in Brooklyn, and Robert Covington was his center in Houston.
And never forget that decision. We'll go with the smallest lineup around.
Yeah, so Harden won't mind.
Tony. Please no D'Antoni.
Yeah, I have it. Greg's agenda against Harden it rivals my agenda against D'Antoni.
Yeah, I beat both of you.
Pure hatred.
I beat both of you. D'Antoni's a fraud to me. I want no parts of him. Anybody that thinks you can win with a bunch of 6'7" guys, I will grow the fuck up here.
Well, and
I was nervous. I was nervous when he was like a special assistant or a special when he was on the bench with Brett. I was nervous he was taking Brett's job.
Yeah, they tried. They tried getting him.
I know.
Tom, you and I talked about this for like 2 hours the other night. He is the king, D'Antoni. He is the king of running 7-man rotations in the middle of the winter on a Tuesday night against Orlando and having all of his guys, James Harden and Chris Paul, exhausted by the second round of the playoffs because they're playing 40 a night and they have no bench minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, and listen, he's Tom Thibodeau's cousin almost. You know, that's what Tibbs does.
Without the defense. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's the offensive Thibodeau.
He's the offensive Thibodeau. But like, listen, I just think depending on matchups, Bassey can give you minutes against maybe some more physical guys, and then some of the more athletic guys. You run with Paul Reed. I think you're fine there. So it's really like Gary Harris, Terrence Ross. Like, give me some names of guys who can sharpshoot a little bit.
You know what? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm done. DJ Augustine, somebody brought up. I think John. Solid name. I would have rather have him 3 years ago. But okay. I mean, I might take Shake over him. I don't know. I got to see DJ play. But like, all these names are good, solid names that you're probably going to bring in. And if you don't bring in a big man, maybe you bring in a small forward, right? Maybe a power forward and a guard. So you could go that way too, where you don't go, hey, I'm going to bring in, another big man. I'm going to bring in maybe a small forward, a guard, right? So I don't know.
No, I was just going to say it's the same kind of areas we thought they'd be improving the last couple of years, right? You need a potential shooter off the bench and a wing guy off the bench that can both score, right? We talked about Terrence Ross for years. It feels
DJ.
like, right?
And
DJ, yeah. We talked about these guys for years potentially coming in, and then now we add the new name to the list like Gary Harris and stuff like that, and but it's all the same type of guys that we felt like we've always been missing from this bench for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm going to add John Wall to it. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I would love it. It's not going to happen, but I would love it. I don't think Terrence Ross can be bought out because I think he has 2 more years.
Yeah, he was just traded, wasn't he?
No, he's been in Orlando for I think 3-4 years, I believe.
Yeah, he's been there for a hot minute.
And everyone's saying Eric Gordon. I think he's got 2 more years left too. So like we have to keep in mind a lot of these guys that people are bringing up, they're not on expiring contracts. That's the kicker. So like everyone brings up, not you, Greg, because the Athletic brought up John Wall. Like, oh, well, John Wall, could he be bought out? He has a couple more years left.
Well, he can.
Well, I think he can, but he's also got $40 million.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I look at like the Gary Harrises, guys that are on expiring contracts. That's why I didn't bring up McDermott. Like McDermott would be perfect here as a buyout, but he's got 3 more years left on his contract. Right. And people talk about Bismack Biyombo. Why would Biyombo be leaving the Suns? I thought they liked him. I think that's the whole reason.
Did they sign him through the end of the year?
Yeah,
he's
like
been pretty
for that
good for
reason.
them.
Yeah,
I thought he got the endorsement from Chris Paul, and it was like that's all you needed to get the end of the year contract.
He stole playing time from JaVale McGee, and he was kind of the replacement for Dario because Dario's been hurt.
Oh, R.I.P. McGee. I love you.
And you know what?
I'll take McGee.
Processor. Bring me. We're gonna go back. Bring me processor guys.
McGee.
Screw Tony Roten, Ish Smith. Bring me JaVale back.
Listen, he's best shape of his life. He's freaking dominating the boards. Can't make a foul shot, but it's all right. I dealt with Dwight last year.
Yeah, I think either way, we know they're going to be active. They're not going to stay status quo. In some parts, just because I just believe that, like, for our conversation to start the show, they're obviously in win now mode. And I think when you get to that point, every name that we've mentioned is on the table. I saw somebody say Kemba, on the table. I mean, these type of games that they get bought out are on the table.
Listen, I don't know his contract.
Real quick, like a guy like Gary Harris, right? He's obviously starting.
Let's go
in Orlando, right?
Oh, he's for the Lakers. Oh, I forgot.
Yes, I'm Lakered up tonight.
We got to stay on until the end, just for Ralph.
Plus 4.5 at home. I'm taking him tonight.
But a guy like Gary Harris, just say he comes here. Do you think that moves Maxey to a 6-man role?
No.
And you go with the more veteran starting lineup?
No, I think you want that off your bench.
Yeah.
You let Maxey go.
No, I think he just stays. I think he's more of like an off-season dump, to be honest, at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Now they
Harris?
can't. Now
only $8
is there like a window where you can't? They can start buying people out now, right?
Yeah, they
Like,
have
can-
until I think in 2 weeks. It's a 2-week window.
Mm.
I think what's today's date? I think the end of
The
the month, Ralphie.
16th.
I think like the 28th. I want to say the 28th. It's usually 2 weeks after the deadline.
Yeah, it's like the little window, and then after that, you can't make any more moves. It's done.
John says Gary Harris starts over Thybulle. John, to be honest, I don't think Thybulle starts anyway. I think Green's going to start.
Yeah, we talked about that, right? I think it's Green's job because he's the veteran. I think they want Thybulle in situations. They want him off their bench to be a stopper, right? I mean, they're going to run him against some of the better wing players out there. So that's what he's there for. That's why he wasn't traded. I think he brings you good value there. I just don't ever want to buy into Tyrese Maxey being
March 1st.
March 1st. I just don't ever want to buy into Tyrese.
It's like a playoff deadline, right, Greg?
That's the playoff deadline.
Yeah.
I'm not putting.
No, Tommy, I hear you. It was
I'm not
just
putting
just
him in
a
that role
thought.
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't think I don't think it stunts growth necessarily, but
it's
like
potentially stunts growth. Yeah,
potentially
absolutely.
stunts growth. Like I'd rather go out and get a veteran and have him come in and give me good minutes off my bench and let this 5 go eat. You know, this 5 is very good. So, you know, you talk about Harden, you talk about Tyrese. Did he make that? Let's go.
He's so.
Are you at the stadium, Ralph?
Yeah, Ralph, how are you so early? You gave me a fist bump.
He was at Ralph. He was at half court when you did that.
Wow.
14-2 run. Come on, keep it close, baby.
Come on, Mitchell. Damn.
Wow, you're rooting for me to lose money?
No, I'm rooting against Ralph.
Well, they can lose the game, but we got to get the plus 4.5 in here.
Yeah,
No.
that's fine. That's fine.
I'd rather them just like win it, and then it's easier. I don't have to stress about the free throw line.
Ralphie's had too much
In the last
on
minute.
Wednesday. There's been too many Wednesdays the last couple months where Ralphie's
Bubble off. Good board, Ross.
Damn it! Come on, turn the ball over. I know you want to. Turn it over.
Coming soon. No.
Off it up.
Kinger. The Kinger. Up
Oh,
2.
God.
Rudy.
2.
Rudy, do we play defense, Rudy?
It's a big man.
Better without AD.
Go.
God, Rudy.
Yeah, right. Jesus Christ, we finally got a pulse.
This is a good question. If you had to rank 1 through 3, who's under the most pressure? James, Joel, Doc.
I don't think
Right,
there's
code.
there's no pressure on Joel.
Walk. That's a walk. Wow. No, it's on the coach. Obviously, it all starts there, right, Don? So, you know, scapegoats sometimes in sports. Sometimes get too much credit, but you know, it's always the coach. I like Doc. I mean, I don't like some of the things he says, but at the end of the day, like, who's better? Who are you going to get? Right? Like the grass is always greener, but who's on the other grass? Like Doc has his issues, but any coach you bring in, unless they're, you know, he's probably gonna be a Hall of Famer, but like, unless you're bringing in Pop, like who doesn't have question marks? Decision-making things. I'll say it again. Players win. You know, players win. You think Steve Kerr's the smartest guy in the room?
No, I don't. I'm actually not that big of a fan of Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Jackson. It was Mark Jackson's championships. You know, he grew those guys.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy to think? Like,
I have the ultimate respect for guys like Nick Nurse and the guy on Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Guys who, like, I know Nick Nurse won a championship with Kawhi Leonard, but like you look at what these guys do with less. You know what I mean? Like in the off years, in the smaller markets. So like I know the guys like Steve Kerr and you know of those like Lou who's the guy on the Clippers? Ty Lue. Thank you. I almost said Lou Williams. Ty Lue. Like those guys, they get all the buzz because they're in the big markets. But you're right though, Tom. It's like, do we really want to be the Phillies where we just throw out another coach? And I'm not a Doc guy. You know this. Oh my God, he did it again.
Oh my God, wow.
he's so good. He's so good.
Wow.
He's so good.
Listen, Ralphie, I'm willing to, just for the sake of LeBron, because I know you're a LeBron guy. He's not going to win it out in LA, so I'm willing to just accept him into our fold next year if he wants to make a big three.
No,
I'm not going to let Greg get in between us and LeBron.
I can't do this.
I'll do it.
I can't have two of the most hated players of
I'll
all
do it.
time.
I'll love
Look
him.
the other way, Greg. Just don't.
Greg
Just
would
look the
hate
other way.
that.
Just save me a seat on Broad Street. Just save me the seat. But I
that's fine.
can't go and root for. I'll turn my head when their buses come around.
Listen
would
to me
hate
right
that
now.
parade.
Listen to me right now. You can say whatever you want about him, but I don't ever turn my back to greatness. So I'm not going to be the guy to say no. I'll be the guy to say, hey, come here. Now I love you because now you're wearing my colors, right? You always don't like somebody when they play for somebody else, but when they come to you, like 4 years before he went to the Lakers and there was rumors of him coming here, you weren't going to take him?
Ralphie.
I didn't want him.
That's not the question, Greg. Would you take him?
No, I didn't want him. I didn't want.
I don't want
him up in that cherry in Philadelphia.
Okay, but you don't
want him. I don't want him bringing basketball back to Philadelphia. I want that to be Joel Embiid.
Okay, fair. But you don't want Harden or LeBron. You didn't want Harden or okay.
No.
If it increases your likelihood of getting you a championship, you don't want it.
I don't want them associated with the team, with the first Sixers team in my generation that I had to celebrate.
And you don't think Joel's going to get a lot of credit for that?
I know he's not, because we know how the NBA works. We know how the market works. We're going to give him the credit. We're going to, because we know that his dominance and we know how much the big man matters.
I understand they're going to blow LeBron.
They're going to blow everybody else but Joel.
No, because I just think they want to pass torches. They're a torch passer, right? They love to pass torches.
Ralphie knows this as much as anybody. A couple of years ago, I did a summer of LeBron. I can do it again.
Yeah,
I did a LeBron watch.
I remember that.
We were making songs. We were making songs about it.
I
can do it again.
Yep. I'm not running for it, but I'll take it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going out of my way for it type deal.
Yeah,
like
I hear you.
If it's on the way to the store or on the way somewhere, I'll stop. But
I just find it amazing that in all the guys in the NBA that like I'd willingly, openly, like cheer on and root for the two biggest crumbs of all time, to me, would be the two that come here and get us over the hump. Oh, that would be my life.
Yeah, John, I don't get it, brother. Like listen, I'm not the biggest LeBron James fan in the world. I'm not. But at the end of the day, do you want a better chance of winning a title? Like,
I just listen. I don't mean to laugh at it because I'm like not Mr. Bron because I'm a Jordan guy. But like, you'd be crazy to say no to it. You'd be crazy to say, "Oh yeah, I don't want to put those three together."
I can't imagine getting a Woj bomb on my phone. I can't imagine getting a Woj bomb on my phone in the middle of July saying, LeBron wants to come to Philadelphia and getting mad by that report. Like I can't imagine that, to be honest. Again, it would feel weird. It's like, oh, well, now you want to come around. Like, yeah, I could be spiteful. I could be petty because that's what I do. But at the end of the day, when I put all emotions aside, you want to come here? Win. Like, that's why, like, I'm in the honeymoon period with Harden. Like, all the things. There's a lot of bad optics with what's going on. But listen, we beg, whether it's the Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, or whatever, the Phillies, any of the teams, the Union, hey, we don't get too many opportunities when we could say, oh my God, a player wanted to come here. Like, I'm not trying to paint the illusion that we're Memphis or Charlotte, but this doesn't happen too many times.
Or I'm a destination, Ryan. If I'm a destination finally, that makes me a destination. That makes us show the world. Like Ben Simmons didn't want to be here, but LeBron does, right? Like think about that. It's even more of a slap in the face.
Another clutch guy.
another guy wants to be here, but you don't. And I think, like Chrome said too. And listen, I'm an MJ guy, but I'm a respect LeBron guy, right? Like I don't know where you want to rank guys, but LeBron, because of what he's done over his career, is a top 5 player. It's just the way it is. Okay, like him, dislike him, whatever. That's the facts of the matter. He's top 5. You don't got to rank him 2 in your list, but he's a top 5 guy, and it's hands down. All right. If you're going 80s up, he's a top 5 guy. Before that, I'm not even doing that.
I can only, again, Ralphie and I are in the same case because we're the same age. Like I can only speak on Jordan, especially prime Jordan, based off of going back and looking at things. But just looking at what LeBron has been to me throughout the entire stage of my life. By the way, what's about to happen? I'm going to shut up and I'm just going to watch. Oh my God. What happened, Ralphie? What happened?
God, they turned the ball over, so now we're shooting 2. shooting 2 at the
Oh,
free
I
throw
thought you
line.
reacted angrily. I thought you got mad.
Oh, thank God.
What LeBron James did in his final year in Cleveland, and obviously coming back against the Warriors, those are two of the most impressive feats I've ever seen in sports in my lifetime. So I can't take that away from him. And if I can get that guy who did those things and can increase my likelihood of a championship, I'm doing it. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about what the storyline is going to be as we're walking down Broad Street with a trophy in our hands.
Is that the best big three in basketball?
LeBron, Harden, and Embiid. Yeah, it's number one. It's not
You got to go big four. You got to go big four, Tom, because you know Bronny's
oh yeah, for throwing
Harris.
if we're throwing Harrison, yeah, you know what I mean.
No, Bronny. You know Bronny's coming.
Yeah, Bronny, right?
I might do it for that, then.
Jesus!
I'll take the last 3 years of his career because he's probably going to play another 3 because he's fucking in great shape. You know what I mean? He's like Brady. He's going to want to fucking try to play till he's 40 something.
Well,
so
I'll take the pedigree with either him or DJ Wagner.
What year is Bronny in, Ralphie?
He's a junior.
Junior. Him and DJ Wagner.
What's the minimum amount of years that we have to
2
wait
years.
until he's out?
One more year after this year.
Yeah.
So 20.
So after his senior year,
23 draft, 24
he can
draft.
either go right to the G League or he could do the one and done with the college. And he's probably going to do the one and done with college.
By the way, that whole thing.
I think that's the first year they're back eligible for the draft. That first year.
What do you mean?
The 23 or 24 draft, high school kids are back eligible for the NBA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why in theory.
You know what? I honestly forgot about that.
That's why I think in theory that Miami pick that we just gave away to Minnesota for what was that for Jimmy?
Oh, dagger.
Yeah.
With I think that's why that pick was so coveted, because that's an unprotected first in the draft that allows high school kids to be back. And yes, that's the Bronny draft.
It's a push off.
Let's go! He did it again! Let's go, Austin Reeves, baby!
Austin Reeves.
Let's go. Every time we do a live reaction, Austin Reeves always hits the big shot.
This guy,
this is amazing.
I'm scared to death of this guy now. I mean, he's coming for
Let's
me, Ralph.
go!
This is twice.
Let's go!
You're welcome, Ralph. You're welcome.
Thank you, Tommy.
Did they win outright or just cover?
Well, they're going to cover plus 4.5.
Ralphie, you say it. I'm not going to say it anymore. What do I call him?
The awkward white boy.
Austin Reeves. Ever since I've called him that, the guy's been a Hall of Famer.
Let's go. If anybody cares, USA's down 3-1 against Canada going into the third.
Ralph Cox.
Avs are up 1-0 over the Golden Knights.
Are they?
This is definitely a destination place, Patrick. You're 100% right.
Easily.
Jeremiah, wow, late super chat to the party. Love you, brother. He says, why do you have to only have a guy? MJ is the GOAT. I'm a basketball fan, so I respect everyone that does it. I respect everyone that does it at the highest level. Jeremiah, I'm not only have a guy. That's just my arguably favorite basketball player, right? That's the guy I grew up watching early on. Okay, so that's why MJ has a different place in my heart. But I'm a basketball fan, so I have no problem giving knowledge and acknowledging and giving guys credit for what they've done. I'm a big believer in them. I'm a big believer in trying not to hate greatness in the moment. I've been talking about this for a while now. So for me, I have a guy, but then I have other guys, right? You know what I mean? Like Steph changed the game for a whole different reason. So he's a guy that's like, changed the game from guys shooting the logo shots, right? So, you talk about Embiid changing the game from a big man perspective, right? So you talk about all these things and you want to try to soak it all in the moment, right? Like KD's, like we talked about KD earlier. There's so many special players that, I want to give credit to and live in the moment with them. But just because I have a guy, like AI is a guy to me too, right? Right, Jeremiah? Like AI is my guy. So I have guys like Jordan, Allen, right? and then I put these newer generation guys where they belong too, right? LeBron, some other guys, Steph, the other guys need to some more guys need to show their worth on that. Like Kawhi, obviously, right? But you know what I mean? There's guys out there that win today, and you want to give them credit. Like, we gave Larry Bird's a fucking great player, right? So I mean, there's a lot of great players who have played in the NBA. So, however you rank them, if you just acknowledge the guy's a great, that's all you got to do. Like, hey, that guy's going to the Hall of Fame. He's a great player, right? And I think that's where the NBA, when you talk about the NBA, that's all I have on that.
Agreed.
Listen, we appreciate everybody that chimed in and commented in. We love you all. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe, please do it. All right, we have plenty of more shows. We have over 15 on this platform and more coming. The voice of the people, and we want you guys to stick around with us. We try to get to every comment. We love you. No Super Bowl talk tonight, Don. To me, it was a good game, but it was a little bit of a too. It had a weird feel to me. Like, it was good, but it wasn't, because I didn't have any hatred. Right? Yeah. Like, I didn't hate anything going on, right? So it sort of took away the pizzazz of it, because I didn't really care who won. Make sense? Like, I was just like, I like both teams for different reasons. So
Tom, you, Ralphie, and I know this because we were there. We were watching it, but like,
you guys were at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had our own little Super Bowl.
Oh, I do have a little announcement that I can make too, but go ahead, Rye.
Oh yeah, I know where you're going. Like, we hit on our bets early, so we were kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happens.
Yeah. It was like,
you know what I'm saying? It was a fine game. There were some questionable things, but it was mostly we were just hanging.
Just cover Cincinnati. That's all I needed.
Yeah, they did. Thanks to a botched extra point, right?
Yep. What I think, field goal game, one way or the other. Field goal game again. That's what it was going to be. But no, go ahead, Greg.
No, I was going to say, and at least to my analysis, if the game was close, like a field goal, you almost thought the Bengals had a chance to win.
Yeah.
And then once Odell went down, that game kind of tightened up. I think if Odell's in the game, that's a blowout, because I don't think they have enough on the defensive side to keep up with both weapons.
No, agreed. And the announcement, because we still have over 100 people watching, so might as well let them. Not fully confirmed, but there is a good chance that you are going to see A2D Radio at the NFL draft in Vegas, on the floor, Radio Row, whatever you want to call the draft one, and interviewing first-round picks and all the things that come with that, former players, something big, and something even bigger after that. Right? You could be talking about something airing on HUD Radio that's all surrounded with former players. So, listen, we're trying to bring you a little piece of everything, right? Not just the fan perspective. We have Marcus on Thursday nights, Pro Fan Talk. Marcus Thomas, former Eagles running back, does a tremendous job. Always has guests on. This week he has Jason Dunn on. Everybody remembers Jason Dunn. All right. So check him on out. He's on before Birds of a Feather tomorrow night, 7:00, I believe his showtime goes off. So listen,
love Marcus' show.
Marcus is great. Brad Quick
brings a different approach, right? We're all fans, right? So we don't always understand the inside and outs of a locker room and stuff like that. Marcus brings that other perspective, which is awesome.
Tom, you know what's funny? I thought you outdid. I thought you were going to announce something else, but you outdid what I thought you were going to announce.
Well, that's good. That's good. Now I have a meeting tomorrow, and that's going to finalize the deal. I just got to talk about HUD Radio, which is easy for me because we're freaking huge, and people see it, right? And that's what it is, and it's growing it the right way, and putting the right pieces and shows together that bring you different perspectives from everything. And I don't know what I'm going to do with my hands when I'm interviewing, the number 1 pick of the draft, the number 2 pick of the draft, right? I don't know. But what I do know is I plan to have former players on that floor with us, right? And that's where Brad Quick, who does a great job on the rant booth on Sundays, who helped us with this situation big time. And yeah, we'll get to that one too, Chrome, 1 second. And Marcus, I want Marcus there too. And Heel Chrome chiming in. I know how good Heel Chrome is on the air, so I would like him to be there as well because he's the butterfly. You know what I mean? He's the butterfly. But that's the perspective we want to give to you from the draft. You know what I mean? We want to give you the perspective of former players then with us too, right? Like I'm either gonna have to fly out somehow and get back for a tournament, or I'm gonna do it remotely, which works too.
No, you're not doing it.
I don't know how I do that. I'm red eye and back. I guess I could red eye back.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Shut the fuck up. I hate flying.
You're missing the tournament, bro. If we're doing that, you're missing the tournament.
I'll drive out there. You know me, I'm an animal. I'll drive to Vegas.
But you're still missing the tournament. You could give up one weekend for a huge deal like that.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Ralphie says you'll be fine.
Yeah. No, you're right, Greg. The more you think about it, yeah. But either way, I'm there, right? I'd prefer to be there.
Yes, you're gonna be there.
But even if I'm here, dude, I'm money. Because now I'm in my comfort zone. I'm lights out here. You know what I mean? We could do this in the dark. Dark, no TV on, just you can't even see me. But no, you're right. I do want to be out there. That's the plan. It's logistics, right? It's getting that figured out. So yeah, and Bryce Harper following A2D Radio over on Instagram. So
I saw a couple people on your post too, Tom, which will remain nameless. They were like, "Oh, cap." Oh, that's not true. Fam, if anyone thinks we're lying, just here.
Yeah, and you see who's under that? Ant Salametto.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Ben Revere follows us apparently because he's all over us. Ben Revere. Hey Ben. So I mean,
let's get Big Ben on.
So Harp, Ben, and Ant, and we've had Ant on before.
Yeah.
On Sunday, we love Ant, freaking grinder. Love him, great dude.
Him and the other minor leaguers about the only ones about to pay off with everything because they're there working out.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Like when you just talk about like players knowing us and following us, and what's coming, right? What's around the corner? It's surreal. Like when I was talking to them guys on the phone today about tomorrow, I was like, man, this is like I got to take a step back for a second because like you have dreams and you have aspirations for stuff and you want stuff to go the right way, but man, I mean, I can't even think about not only on the draft floor, but like weekly coverage from more players, right? Like more and more. Listen, some people have media credentials, they got nothing, right? I say people all the time, they don't want us, right? But they'll take our players. You understand? They'll take our players in there. They don't want me in there because I'll expose people. They got no time for that, right? I got, what I mean? You think there's some tough questions in there? Get the fuck out of here, right? I'll just start taking pants. Will be dropping. What happened? What'd you say? All right, because this is over. I don't know what the pants have anything to do with anything, but I digress. Either way, they don't want us in there. They can't handle they can't handle the truth. They can't handle it, Ralphie. They can't. But you get players. Guess where they go? All right, they go in there. Night.
No, that's killer. That's awesome.
Don. Ralphie will be busy with some other things.
Yeah, Ralphie's got some big announcement coming too.
What? Oh yeah. All right. For everybody that loves video games, over on our Twitch.
I just without having any knowledge, I just bet is Ralph going to finally start streaming? Like, let's go.
Yes. This Friday, I think I'm about to go live around 1 p.m. and we're going to start off with some.
You don't understand people work, right?
Yeah, that's all right. Tune in. You're bored at work? Come tune in. All right. Friday, start around 1 p.m. Eastern time. I think I'm going to start with a little, what's it called? I might start with some NCAA basketball 09. Deep dive into that. Because some college football a little bit as well. So get some college games in there. Spice it up. Madden's okay, but it's not better than college football.
You got to play the 14, bro.
Yes, I have it.
Denard Robinson on the cover.
Yep, that is correct.
Oh, it's the best game. That's the best game out there.
It is.
Hands down, best game.
So if you guys got time on Friday, come over to our Twitch, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're live streaming over there, baby. And I think Andy's going to do some live stream as well. We're talking about it as well. Well, I like this music.
Oh, my God. Get him.
That's going to happen.
Looking forward to it, Ralphie. It's about damn time. as they say. About damn time. All right, on our way out, want to show love to. Why can't I ever find something? Want to show love to the Gleasons. I don't know why this froze. There we go. Gleason's Bar is located 6700 Mill Creek Avenue, Levittown, PA. Use promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or online. Gleason's Bar and Steaks.com. The Trenton, the pork roll and steak. Oh. All right. And you're going in there 10% off. Their food's all over social media. Go check them out. If you're in the area.
Delicious food, folks. It's delicious. I've been there.
This is money. This is money. All right. And more discount codes for the people. All right. And a little bit more. Boys, great show, like always.
Absolutely.
Right. Frank Vespi was with us, I think, and Nate was with us. Noah tonight. That's Ralph Delvecchio down there and Greg Milakovic. Ryan Brodo. I'm Tom Arnone. Family out there, hit your subscribe, turn your alerts on, follow us. We're everywhere. Make sure you check us out on all our social medias, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. We're everywhere, and everywhere you get your podcasts. Go download, review, 5 stars only, okay? Review and follow us, okay? We love you all. We appreciate you, and we are brought to you by BetUS, and BetUS is the leading online sportsbook who has been in the market for over 25 years. You can get it anywhere. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything and anything. Use the link right in our description over on YouTube, also in the description on Facebook. Okay, click the link, use it because you get 125% sign-up bonus. All right, help us, help you, and we truly mean that because 125% sign-up bonus is why I was in on this deal here because it's a big-time give back, and that's what you want if you want people to use a different source. But the fact that you can do it anywhere, that's the kicker.
Amen.
Enjoy yourself, fam. Do it for us. Help us continue to grow so we can continue to bring you even better content than we already do today. Would you say, how are you going to do that, Tom? Hold my beer. Boys, great show.